Good evening. Welcome back to the Dennis Herrera, my brothers. Um, I'm gonna be honest, man. I was not excited. Not excited to come back. Not excited to come back. You guys already know we got some sad news that somebody got shot today, um, or yesterday. Yesterday, I've seen so many videos. Hi, Lisa. How are you? It's been a while. I haven't seen you here for a while. Saltwater, how you doing, brother? Welcome back. Welcome back. Uh, First, I want to start off with I was very curious on how much training do these ICE agents get. I believe that the officer did everything was justifiable. Justifiable. I think he did the right thing. Is it a sad thing to watch? Of course, it's a sad thing to watch, and maybe he could have done different. But I'm going to tell you something. Uh, it's somebody that had to go through yesterday. It's somebody that had to go through some training to be able to own a weapon. Um, I can tell you that there's only so much training that they can give you. It doesn't matter on what position. There's only so much training that you can get. And I think that a lot of agents, most of their experience is going to be, on the field. And one of the things that I am so upset with is politicians, Democrats. I've been saying this for a very long time that in order for us to make a good judgment or a good decision or having a somewhat fair opinion on something, that we got to hold everybody accountable for. And in order for us to do that, we got to stop hating the person that is in charge of enforcing the law. You guys already know that these leftist people, they're crazy. They don't like President Trump. It doesn't matter how many great things our president does. These people are always going to be hating Trump and us. They talk about getting offended and they talk about, this and that. Well, when somebody calls me a Nazi, I don't take that lightly. That to me is a bad thing. Okay? That's almost like calling me the N word, right? And I don't appreciate that. Now, I don't care what color, what race, what ethnicity. I don't care where they come from. I don't appreciate anybody calling me a Nazi. Period. Don't call me a nigger. Don't call me a Nazi. I'm neither one of them. The one thing that I know for sure is that the people that go out there and protest, they agitate, they assault our ICE agents daily. Let's not play dumb. They assault our ICE agents daily, every single time. How many videos have we watched? They get violent. They obstruct. They're not supposed to be getting in front of the cars. They're not supposed to be blocking the street. They create a very hostile environment that puts the safety of the innocent people and our federal agents. Let's not forget that some idiot killed one of the illegals in Texas, I believe it was. Sniped them, trying to shoot ICE agents. Why? They're only enforcing the law. I can't believe, I don't know if people are lying, but I can't believe that there is soldiers. They say they're soldiers. They serve in the military, and somehow they blame the ICE agents for what they're doing. I don't know. Oh, thank you, Lisa. Actions have consequence. I say that, but you know what? These people don't listen. The people on the left, guys, I don't know what's going to happen, honestly. I told my wife, I was like, I don't want to get back on the mic. I said, I don't want to get back on the mic. It's troubling. It's a very troubling thing Now, I think I clipped a couple of things on my X account. Okay. Let me just show you this one here real quick, since this is the last one that I posted on here. I just shared this one, okay? Now I left this one on here so that I can show you guys. This is LA. Guilty of being right. People think good is bad and bad is good. You know, it has been prophesied in the Bible that this is the times that we were going to see these things. You know, and I don't like to be getting all religious, you know, with people.
To evolve. It's crazy again.
I don't want to get all religious, you know, with people. But it is in the Bible, you know, and people are going to call good evil and evil good. And we see it. And the Bible also says, you know, in the prophecies, that when you see the beast sitting in the temple, run for the hills. Get away. Get out of the city. What do we have in the church today? You know, for a long time, I thought that well, it can be, but for a long time, I always thought that the Pope is an antichrist. Now, symbolically, if you study prophecy and, you know, in the Bible, you will know that the opposite of a cross, the Antichrist, is an upside down cross. And who was the first Pope of the Catholic Church? St. Peter. The Apostle Peter. He was crucified upside down. And so the Pope is the person that continues to replace that position. But I always thought that it would just be the Pope, you know, that he's the beast or the Antichrist. But now I'm looking at what we got today. Hey, Omar, how are you? Eric, welcome. Gerber. And what do we have in the church? Not just in the Catholic Church, on every church, every denomination of church. What do we have? We have lesbians as priests, right? The Catholic, a gay woman who goes to drag queen shows, a gay man, a bishop. There's a big church, and I stopped looking into this because it was depressing me to see the church going in the way that they were going. Time is on my side. Yes, he is. I had to do it, man. Even if I'm serious, even if I'm sad, when time comes on my side, I got to do that. I don't know why. It's just a reflex. Welcome, my friend. Welcome, Berniel. Good evening. Oh. About time you catch me. You never catch me with it. You never catch me with it. And my wife knows, man. I always give you love for that, but you never catch it. So anyways, you know, we have gays, you know, infiltrating the churches. And they're out there preaching partial Bible and teaching immorality. And I don't want to, you know, I don't want to get religious, but, you know, everything that I have been watching. Now, you have to understand, the reason why I'm not a pastor is because I'm not fit. I have a bad mouth sometimes, you know, and I'm just not the guy. I'm not perfect. And so, and I know that if you wanted to be, I will give you the rules or the requirements to be a pastor, and then I will back you up. But for myself, I judge myself very harshly, and I just can't do it. I mean, I can't do it. It has to be like a really strong sign from God for me to come back. So I'm looking at all these videos. Thank you, Lisa. If you move to the south, they don't mince words. Bernil says that, Dennis, we have our own monastery in this show. Monastery. That's one thing I respect about Islam. They believe what they believe and don't switch up for popularity. You know, when it comes to Muslims, I believe that Islam is a fake religion, and but that's just the way that I believe. And Islam was created over 600 years after Christ died. The Prophet Muhammad was self-appointed. He has no witnesses. I know the Quran talks about Jesus, and I know that most Muslims today, they didn't used to, but today they accept Jesus as a great prophet. Some say even better than Muhammad. But the fact is that the Quran, Islam religion, was created with some of the teachings from the Bible, and they took those teachings as their own. You see, the Bible that we have in Christianity, we have that Bible from witnesses, actual physical witnesses that were there. Now, if the Bible has things that maybe men put together and just kind of matched what was in there, I can tell you that nobody can lie to the Holy Spirit. And that's why we have discernment. But with that being said, it's not about, if you're a Muslim, if you come into my channel and you're a Muslim, hey, listen, denounce Muhammad because he was a pedophile and a murderer. And unless, hear me out, unless you think that, he accepted Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior, and then, he repented and changed his ways. If that happened, because I haven't read that in the Quran, if that happened, okay, I'm with you. But I'm just going to say this. Even though I believe that Islam is fake, that it's not a true religion, it's not really my God, it's not the God of Abraham, Isaac, or Jacob, you make the decision to say, well, I do this because I am a religious person. I believe that Allah is God, Jehovah, Yahweh, the Creator. You can do that. Reject jihad. Reject Sharia law. And you're okay in my book. Will you be safe? No. But you will be okay in my book. I will still call you brother. And maybe one day you become a Christian. Becoming a Christian really is about your salvation. It's not about being best friends with me. It's about your own personal salvation. Okay? So going back to Christianity, I watch all the videos that I can possibly take watching. And you have to understand that when you watch so much evil, you tend to start to see the actual demons. And you see the demons in these people. And of course, you have to pray. You have to ask the Holy Spirit to come in and strengthen you and guide you and stuff. And I don't like it because I'm human, and I'm weak, and I get sad, and sometimes that sadness overtakes, it overtakes the spirit. The flesh is weak. Thank you, Lisa. We are a Christian nation. Muslims don't belong in a Christian nation. If you are practicing Muslim, and want you out of the USA. I will agree with that statement. I think that, Lisa, if they want to be Muslims, if they assimilate, I'm okay with that. I will accept Buddhists. Buddhists, they don't harm people. It's not a false religion as well, but it's not harming me or my children. Let them practice what they want to practice. Jehovah Witnesses, you know what I mean? It's, Latter-Saint Days, the Mormons, they're not Christians. But it doesn't matter what they practice. We always have to tell the truth. But what really matters is that God has everything under control. And we are called to love one another. Now, you already know when we say love one another, it doesn't mean that we're going to love each other's sin. See, God doesn't love the sin. God loves the ones who call out to him and repent. If he didn't love us, he would have never sent his son, Jesus Christ, to come and die for us, which is one thing that Muslims don't understand. What would God send his son to come and die for us? Like, they don't get it. They don't get it. And I'm going to say this because I don't want to confuse people, but there is a mystery in the Bible. I have mentioned a couple times, if you haven't understood it, if you don't know what that means, I'm not going to explain it because I also don't want to become an obstacle for somebody to fall. And if I try to understand it out of my own reasoning or of my own understanding, I'm gonna make you fall in the wrong way. So we'll just read the Bible as it is. We'll tell the stories of Jesus as it is. We'll talk about salvation as it is, and then we're not going to talk about the secrets of the universe. Jesus Christ said that all those things will be revealed to us by his Father, whom we will all see thanks to the Son. I mean, the Holy Spirit is with us. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. I find that very interesting. And I love it. And I understand it. And it's not for everybody to understand. But I tell you all of this because of all the videos that I watched today. It's demonic. Very demonic. Now we'll go and we'll get into all these videos and we'll watch all this stuff, and we will make it as common sense as possible. We're not gonna go into spirituality. I'm not here to preach a sermon to you guys, but it's very demonic. The hate is real. This mental illness that you're seeing being manifested in these protests, on the streets, on the new leadership, socialist mayors, socialist governors, corrupted presidents. I mean, we've had this for probably since the beginning of government, since the beginning of humankind. But we are really living in prophetic times. Like, I don't know, it could be another 50 years, another 100. But what we're seeing is it's prophetic. And my advice is always to people, just live like tomorrow will be here forever. But love like today is your last day. And that's the hardest part, isn't it? It's the hardest part is to love, because when you're stressed, when you're depressed, when you're feeling lonely, when you're feeling outcast, when you feel you are not in the right place, how do you love? It's hard to love. I'm going to tell you, this lady that got shot today or yesterday. I keep saying today. Ugh. That got shot yesterday. The lady that tried to run over the ICE agent. Some people have said, and I corrected this in my chat today, some people have said she deserved it. That's not the word that I would use. I don't think she deserved that. She deserved to get arrested? Absolutely, 100%. Now, even though what the ICE agent did is 100% justifiable, it is what they're supposed to do. A police officer will do the same thing. Maybe, maybe not. How many times have ICE agents have been thrown bricks at, hurting them? They've been assaulted every single day. How are you, Brian? Omar, welcome, welcome. Tanya, welcome. How many times do we have to see violence being placed on our ICE agents before we say that's enough? How many times do we have to allow our citizens to misbehave? And how many times do we have to allow our governors and our mayors to go out there and say some nasty stuff about our federal agents? How you doing, Demo? Bueno, welcome. When I hear the Democrats like AOC calling ICE agent murderers, I don't forget what people call me. Coconut. I say this many times. That's a brown guy trying to be white. It's a racist name. They call me fascist, Nazi, and all the names that they call everybody. Those words don't have any meaning anymore. But the fact is that these people are encouraged to be violent towards us by their own leaders, by their own democratic leaders. Hi, Haley. How are you? I'm gonna say this. when I call people names like libtards or retarded or dumb or whatever, I don't hate people. And I'm not trying to run them over or trying to kill them. I make fun of them. Maybe that's a bad way. Some sort of bullying, I guess. But when they cuss us, when they call us names, there's a lot of hate behind it. I can take a joke, but when you're doing it with hate and you're threatening my life, that's no longer a joke. You see what I'm saying? So when you hear governors like Tampon Tim talking about ICE agents is the Gestapo, President Donald Trump is a Nazi. I mean, he's more Nazi than anybody else. Him and the mayor. Him, the mayor, and the police chief. They can probably be Nazis. But we don't call them that. I'm just making a comparison to how they treat us. What's that, Bernie? I'll tell you, Dennis, is that darn clot that clogged oxygen to their brain, honestly. Something happened, bro. Something happened. So it's okay. You can go ahead and call me names. That's fine. That's not the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is that when I call people names, I'm making fun of them. That's fine. And you can be offended. You can it doesn't matter. But when you call me names, you do it with hatred and you threaten my life. And that's a big difference. You guys cry about this lady being shot. You shouldn't get mad at ICE agents for doing that. You should be mad at yourselves. If you support people throwing their bodies in front of agent cars, if you support people ramming agent vehicles, if you support people like her trying to run over an ICE agent, then you are to blame for that. If President Trump was trying to be unconstitutional or break the law, okay, I'm with you. But everything he's done has been constitutional. See, the people don't grasp the problem that we have in society. And the problem that we have in society is that in this country, we just had a horrible administration. They cheated the election. They set up a coup for January 6th. They shut down the whole country and took for themselves billions of dollars through the excuse of COVID relief. They brought up this fake Green New Deal. Trillions of dollars. Wasted money. We saw nothing. And somehow, politicians in office, specifically on the Democratic side, and I'm not saying Republicans are clean. We just heard of 5 morons on the Republican side, especially Rand Paul. I'm so disappointed with him. I used to support him. I used to think that he was very smart. They can also be corrupted. My prayers and my thoughts are for the family that this lady left behind. The husband gave an interview to the news. Ex-husband, because she somehow, after having some children with a man, she turned lesbian. Yeah, tell me, who's brainwashed, Keon? Who's brainwashed? Somebody that is an actual female, a heterosexual woman that gets married, has children, all of a sudden, her brain flipped into, oh, I'm a lesbian. It's not normal. It's not normal. And I understand that a lot of people don't get it because they don't have faith in God. They don't believe in God. So their moral compass is all distorted. They don't know where good is and they don't know where bad is. They don't know what right is. They don't know what wrong is. I understand all that. But the problem is that when we're trying to help you out, when we're trying to make you, help you figure things out for the better of your life and ours, you guys don't get it. You fight us. You hate us. And you say, my country, I'm American, and you forget that this is our country and we're American as well. I keep hearing the same things over and over. This is stolen land. The moment somebody says that, I know how ignorant they are. They don't know history. They don't know why we are the people that we are today. They don't know why we are the nation that we are today. We are one people. And you know what has betrayed us? Charity. Trying to be the good Samaritan. That has betrayed us. And the farther people get away from God, the worse this country becomes. Now, you can call me a liar, but you can look outside what's happening. I have this dude that comes into my channel sometimes. He's SoCal. He comes into my channel sometimes, and sometimes he got some good points, but most of the time he's just annoying, and I hate it when I see a guy that I recently have a conversation where we disagree with things, but we agree on most things, and then every time that I'm reading a comment from him, it's just like putting me down. It's like, and it has nothing to do with my ego. But if you're going to sit there and just be a pest, I don't care. You got to go. He's so proud of Gavin Newsom in California. California is in debt. And people are like, oh my God, we pay so many taxes. You should. You got the biggest population. You got one of the biggest states. You guys get a lot of the money that this country protects for. See, you have to understand something. There is 50 states in this country, not 50 countries in one country. It's a huge difference. Just because you get to be the governor of a huge state doesn't mean that you get to go out there and say, well, we're just going to separate and become our own country. We make all this money. No, the reason why you have your state is because your state has been protected by all of the United States of America. And just because you're in a more convenient area to make more money, more tourism, etc., it doesn't make you any better than Ohio or South and North Dakota. It doesn't make you better than Colorado. It doesn't make you better than any other state. And so the guy, he loves Gavin Newsom. Well, here's a little trip, riding in Los Angeles at night. At least it's safe enough for him to ride at night. And I want you to notice something. You look at this at these streets, and I want you to take a look what you see around. Hopefully you can see good enough on the screen. Let me see if I can move myself here a little bit. Let me go down here a little bit so I can make this a little bit bigger for you. Okay, I'm going to put it right there. Hopefully that's big enough. I want you to pay attention to what you see on the street and watch why we have a problem with the Democrats. That's not bad. Under construction, no problem. Well, got a couple of Twickers there. They can't move. There's a guy counting his money. Somebody else doing some shady deals. We got some homeless right there doing some drugs. We got this lady's gone. These guys are shopping here somewhere. This used to be so beautiful. Look at that. The streets used to be so clean. At some point, it got destroyed and they got to get cleaned out. And look at that. Tent City. Garbage everywhere. Gavin Newsom. This is what he does. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of things. Let me go to my unverified account. Look at this culture. This is demonic. This is demonic. This is the new culture. This is the new culture. And it's not just, thank you, it's not just in Florida. It's not just in California. It's in a lot of many states. Look at that. Look at that. These are adults. These are, yeah, truth, acting like animals. Look at that. Tell me that these women have a good self-esteem, have good self-respect. Look at the ladies on the bus up there. They're acting like little children, but they're just demonic. That is not good. And that's what I'm talking about. So you have this happening in our culture. People think that what's good is bad, and they think that what's bad is good. That's the world that we live in today. You see, even if Trump is not really a Christian, at least he's trying to enforce the law. When we try to bring National Guard into a city or a state, the Democrats fight us. And they demonize the president, and they demonize our National Guard as if they are some sort of terrorist. These are our people. This is our American people. They are there for international, for foreign, and domestic. They're not just there to just carry bags of sand and rescue people during natural disasters. They're military. And for somebody that says that they don't get enough training to be able to handle people on the street, how about we hold our senators, our congressmen, the legislative branch, how come we don't hold them accountable for the laws that they make and stop hating the president and the police and the authorities that are implementing or enforcing those laws? How do you expect our authorities to go out there and do their job when you're demonizing them? You're telling people they're the Gestapo. You're telling people that it's okay to go and do this and block and obstruct and all this stuff. It is crazy. And I saw a little clip. Let me see if I have it in here for you. I saw a little clip of people actually, let me mute this real quick, of people actually walking like they're supposed to. They're walking on the sidewalk, protesting now in Minneapolis. A lot of people are still blocking the street. I can't find the damn video. A lot of people are blocking the street, which is something that they're not supposed to be doing. And why do I show you this stuff? Because if you're in denial, you have to see things on different perspectives. I can teach you everything I know in one time. And the times that I tell you other stories, you're not watching.
The fear in the small.
Now, this is somebody interviewing. This is the new socialist, communist Democrat mayor in Seattle, Washington. Listen to this person, and it's just retarded. Listen.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fear in the Somali community is real. The fear in immigrant communities are real, so we're taking that very seriously.
Along those lines, have you asked anyone to follow up on the fraud claims, either to the Department of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs or SPD?
No.
She doesn't want the fraud to be investigated. This is the leaders that Democrats put in. Now, we believe they've been cheating on elections, but this is the leaders. Look at her face. Oh, because Somalis don't feel safe, we can't investigate fraud? So should we all just play the victim card and say, hey, we don't feel safe, maybe we can just do whatever the hell we want? P&W, she's a joke. She is a joke. But that's what Democrats are like. She's a socialist communist. That's what she is. Yeah, she comes out as a socialist Democrat. She says that she is the twin of Mondani in New York. And what did we find out about Mondani in New York? He said that individualism is evil. Now, for those of you who don't know what that means, individualism gives you your right to own your private business, to have, live in the capital world and make as much money as you want. That's individualism. And what he proposed is communism. He used a different word, but that's what he's talking about, communism. Now they have people talking about how they're making rules to where, like, if you own a house, you got to give 6-month notice before you can even sell the house. What? It's your house. You should be able to do whatever the hell you want with the house. But they don't want you to do that because they want to have a chance to figure out how they can take it away from you. You got to watch out, man. Listen, if you don't like Trump, I'm going to tell you something. We would probably be, who knows how much in debt. I don't know how much we would be in debt right now. Would it be 50,000, 50 trillion, 500 trillion? Nobody knows. Even so, with President Donald Trump right now, we are this far from losing our dollar value around the world, and people don't even realize it. They complain about us going into Venezuela. Now, I mentioned this earlier. They complain about us going into Venezuela. The Venezuelan people asked President Trump for help. Democrats, the moment that Trump said that we're going to go down there, Democrats go crazy. Chuck Schumer, here we go. Nancy Pelosi, here we go. Everybody. Minority Leader Hakeem Sombrero Jeffries goes over there and starts going against Trump and the Trump administration. Kapule feko fa mole mole. I can't see. The light is on my face. I can't see. Hello, Fafo. Talking to my Samoan family here. What happens? President Donald Trump changes gears and says, okay, you know what? We're going to do this a different way. We're going to go ahead and grab Maduro, but we're going to leave the vice president there. Even though she's also guilty, we'll get to her eventually. And then once we have this in order, once we know what's happening completely, more than all the information that they have in Venezuela, then they can move in and do a different tactic, and then let Venezuelans have their democracy. Let them vote for the new leader, and we're just going to watch and make sure that is the right way. No more of this cheating software, which, by the way, I can't wait for these guys to pay back the money they took from Giuliani. Giuliani needs his money back. And I can't wait to see them in jail for lying to all of us. And every single Democrat that cover up the cheating that they have been doing to our democracy, as they so much claim that we were the ones destroying it. But in the meantime, they have already destroyed it themselves. Isn't that interesting? They blamed us. Remember? They blamed us with President Trump. As a matter of fact, they're blaming us right now for Trump being president today. And yet, when it was their turn, everything was great. Nothing wrong, nothing to see here. Everything is perfect. Now the Republicans went, oh my God, they cheated. Something's wrong. No, that's not the right guy. No, blah, blah, blah. It just never fails. They're trying to flip this accident on the ICE agent when they have been training their people to hate ICE agents, to not respect them as actual federal agents. Now, before we get into it, I want to read to you some of the training for the ICE agents. And I bet you most of you guys probably never even looked into it. An ICE agent training duration varies by role. With Homeland Security investigations, HSI agents completing a combined 25-week program, 12-week criminal investigator training program, and 13-week with enforcement and removal operation officers. Their operation officers, they face shorter, more rapid training, traditionally around 22 to 27 weeks. But recently fast-tracked with reports for some basic training lasting as short as 8 weeks, meaning 2 months. 2 months of training. To quickly deploy officers, though longer, and specialized training follows. Now, I'm going to tell you something right now. It doesn't matter how much training you get. Nothing is really real until you hit the floor, until you hit the field. And that's when you start your actual training. So for me, I will tell you this. If I was the governor, if I was a mayor, or I was in charge of the city or whatnot, my first thing is to set the tone with the law. And I will make it very public. This is the law. You have your rights, but the law says you will use those rights and you will be responsible on how you use them. If you oppose and if you obstruct FBI or federal or police, local police, into their investigation, or you try to stop them from doing their duty as law enforcement, you will be arrested. If you throw items at them, you will be arrested. Respect the law. You want to protest, do that on the sidewalk in an orderly fashion. Peacefully. Throwing ice balls is not peacefully. Throwing sticks, rocks, is not peacefully. Getting in their faces, obstructing them, is not peacefully. Spitting on them is not peacefully. Any of the above mentioned are assault, and you can go to jail. And what you have to understand, that federal agents, they have to go by federal law, and that is a lot tougher than your local law enforcement rules. So I feel like mayors, leaders of every state are responsible for teaching their constituents, their citizens, their residents, and specifically let all of those know who are visiting in the country to respect the law at all times. You know, people used to be afraid of the law. They're not afraid of the law anymore. They get out there with their phones. Over there, right in their face, like right here, right here. No respect, no fear. And then they wonder why they get hurt. And then the Democrats turn around and they blame the Republicans. This lady right here, she has no experience on anything. She lives in La La Land. She got nominated the mayor? Are you kidding me? Bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't even think I can win anymore. If this airhead right here with no brains got put in office, we're screwed. We are screwed. I'm telling you that right now. You guys already saw my videos from earlier, so we don't have to go through that. I don't have to watch anything from there. I want to go ahead and start off with the Minneapolis residents protesting. Minnesota fraud uncovered. You may have seen these already.
Tony Ernst joins me now. Senator, have you been surprised by the inflammatory language used by Democrats to respond to the shooting? I mean, AOC and others are calling it murder.
Stuart, I would like to say that I am surprised, but I am not surprised at all. This is the dangerous rhetoric that has been coming from the left for a very long time. And what they do, whether directly or indirectly, they are inciting further violence. These ICE agents were using legal authorities in Minnesota, and yet there were those that came out to impede their operations. Unfortunately, we had a very tragic incident resulting in the death of a young woman. But again, they are operating under legal authority. The rhetoric has got to stop. There's an ongoing investigation. Let's not armchair quarterback this. Let's see what they say.
Got it. I want to talk about fraud in Minnesota. I believe you've uncovered something new. You are the chair of the Senate Doge Committee. What have you got uncovered?
Yes, absolutely, Stuart. There is a ton of fraud in Minnesota and many other states. But what I uncovered the other day in one of our spending bills making its way through Congress was a $1 million earmark from Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota, which was an earmark that was supposedly going to a substance abuse clinic, which actually happened to be housed in a restaurant and run by 3 individuals that share the same residential address, according to their IRS paperwork. Tons of red flags. So this is what we saw with the fraud involving the daycare centers. Now we see other earmarks coming directly from members of Congress where it seems fraud is being perpetrated as well. So I raised the issue, and fortunately, the House has now stripped that earmark out of that spending bill. But again, this is how easy money has been flowing to bad actors in Minnesota.
It's still shocking. One more for you, Senator. The Pentagon is conducting a review of women's effectiveness in ground combat roles. You're a combat veteran. You served in Iraq. You're a helicopter pilot. What do you think of this review?
Well, I wasn't a helicopter pilot, but I was a logistician, Stuart. So what I will tell you, though, is that we have women that are meeting the same standards as men. And if those women are qualified for those positions and they are meeting the standard, then they should be able to serve in combat. They are just as effective as the men that they serve with. Now, I would say that there's also many men in those combat roles as well that probably are not as strong as some of those women. So are we going to start pulling those men out of those positions as well? Or are we just targeting these women because we have XX chromosomes? I'm not sure. But again, we are effective leaders. Leadership is necessary in combat. If women are meeting the same physical and mental standards as men, they should be allowed to compete for those positions.
Fair enough. I'm okay with that. Look, more Fox for you leftists that come into our channel to visit. So these are the Republicans who are joining the Democrats. So for now, the Democrats are going to love Republicans, especially these 5 right here. I find it so ironic, and I don't blame people. I get it. There's a lot of confusion, and it's easy for weak people to give in. I'm very disappointed on Sean Hawley. I thought that he was actually a very smart guy. I thought the same thing about Rand Paul as well, and they are both a disappointment. But, you know, for some things, I think that they think they're doing the right thing.
Democrats and a test vote aimed at reining in President Trump's military authority in Venezuela following the arrest of Nicolas Maduro. The measure still faces a steep uphill climb. It's got to clear a 60-vote threshold, and the second Senate vote would almost certainly die when it gets to the House. President Trump weighing in, though, on True Social about the 5 Republicans who voted with Democrats. He said, quote, "Republicans should be ashamed of the senators that just voted with Democrats in attempting to take away our powers to fight and defend the United States of America."
By the way, I haven't seen this clip, but I agree with what he just said. I don't like being controlled. I don't like being manipulated. I like to make my own mind and make my own decisions. I don't go on with the flow like most of you leftists over there do. I do my own research, and that's why I believe that everything that he's doing is the right thing.
Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski.
See, you guys believe ICE is the Gestapo. You guys believe that we are Nazis. This is how I know you're wrong, because I know I'm not. I know who I am. I know I love this country. You don't. You just want everything for your selfish reasons. You don't think about anything else or giving something good to this country. You just take like a locust.
Rand Paul, Josh Hawley, and Todd Young should never be elected to office again. Fox News contributor Mark Thiessen with us now. Them's fighting words, I guess.
I agree.
But wait, why would they? I understand Rand Paul and all that, but I understand most of them. Hawley, I'm not sure about, but this thing's going to die. It's symbolic, if anything, but why do they want to take away the president's powers to defend the United States of America?
I disagree with him when it comes to Susan Collins. She's the only our Senate majority depends on Susan Collins winning re-election, so I dissent from that with that comment. But look,
she gets a pass.
But look, the reality is the president has all the authority he needs under Article 2 of the Constitution. For 5 decades, bipartisan administrations have agreed that the AU and AUMF means absolutely unnecessary. In 1989, George H.W. Bush did almost the exact same thing that Donald Trump did. He launched Operation Just Cause.
Yep.
Sent 36,000 troops on the ground, but he got Manuel Noriega, brought him back on drug trafficking charges. 23 Americans died in that operation,
yes.
And no AUMF. 83, Reagan invaded Grenada, no AUMF. 2011, Barack Obama launched a war in Libya, no AUMF. 1999, Clinton launched an operation in Kosovo. Not only did he not get an authorization from Congress, Congress actually voted 290 to 139 to deny him an authorization, yes. And he continued the 73.
I was there for that war.
I know. Yeah. I was there, too. I was up on Capitol Hill at the time.
No, I was in Belgrade.
Oh, there you go. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm glad you made it out.
The bombs were dropping all over. I was there the night the Chinese embassy was bombed.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. That was I remember that very well. But, and so the reason presidents do get AUMF sometimes is not for legal authorization, which they don't need. It's to put Congress on the spot and to get them to buy in so that if things go wrong, you have bipartisan. We're all responsible for this decision, right? So so Trump doesn't need it as a legal matter. But in the case of Venezuela, he didn't do it for a couple of reasons. One, you can see by the vote of the Democrats that they would have never voted to authorize it. But number two, secrecy. One of the reasons why no Americans were killed in this operation, why it was so successful, is because Maduro couldn't even get into a safe room. It happened so quickly.
And they held the operation for 4 days, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if he had briefed Congress, it would have leaked. It could have put American lives at risk. So not only did he not have the legal reason to have to requirement to do it, it actually could have jeopardized the mission and jeopardized American lives going to Congress.
So what do you make of the updated version of the Monroe Doctrine called the Donroe Doctrine now, which is back to America for the Americas, and this is our hemisphere. And we're not going to let outside players come in and take over our backyard.
I love the Donroe Doctrine, but I'd expand it a little bit more. It's not just this hemisphere that he's focused on. I mean, think about what he's done since he took office. He bombed the Houthis. He's bombed Iran. He's bombed Nigeria. He's now bombed Venezuela and taken out their leader. I mean, he is exercising America's military might, standing astride the world, putting our enemies on the line. And what he's doing is he's restoring a conservative international leadership on the world stage. After the Iraq War, after Afghanistan, there's no appetite for putting boots on the ground. And so Trump inherited.
Zuboy, I'll let you call me in and show me how I am brainwashed. You give me your knowledge and your wisdom, okay? I'll let you call in.
A world in which people don't want to put boots on the ground, and so you have to find a new way to exercise American leadership on the world, and he's doing it, which is you don't go into Venezuela with boots on the ground. You go and you knock out the leader, and you say to the interim leader, do what I tell you, or I'm going to take you out too. And I can do it over and over and over again. You take out the Iranian nuclear program. You don't go in and send a coalition provisional authority in to occupy the country. You take it out and you tell the Iranians, if you do it again, I'm going to do it again and again and again and again. And you can do this. It's a great model for American leadership.
Speaking of Iran, you think it's going to fall?
I think Iran could very well fall. I think Cuba could fall. Because Cuba is a country that completely depended on Venezuela. After the Soviet subsidies dried up, they turned to Venezuela for money. Now that's completely shut off. No oil, no anything. The Cuban regime could fall too.
Could be.
Well, they still have Mexico.
Quite a year.
It could be.
And you'll be with us here all through it.
Just since John F. Kennedy Cuban leaders have been waiting out American presidents. Trump may be the last one they've survived.
We will see. All right.
Man, if they were paying me, I'll be talking even better about them. No, they're not paying me. All right. Well, Zoo Boy, you got the balls to call me? Who wants to call in? I'll let you guys make a phone call in, and we'll see how it goes. Now, before you call and make an ass out of yourself, I'll let you know that I have been studying Venezuela in my Latin community and Latin countries basically all my life. So if you have the balls to call in, you can. You are more than welcome. And I'll try not to embarrass you. I'll try to be nice. Let me see if Sister is available. All right, let's see. Zoo Boy wants to call in. Is that did I hear a response from Zoo Boy? I don't see one. Let's see. Zoo Boy last comment was Dennis is brainwashed. Let's see. DC, I don't know what the hell her name is, but 605. You guys don't even see the truth when it's right in front of you. I've said that before. Maybe she's just agreeing with me. I don't think the message is for me, because that's exactly what I said about libtards. Let me see who else is in here talking shit. There has never really been left-wing Democrats. They are all moderate. No, they're left. They're gone. You guys didn't hear Professor Wolf. Professor Wolf teaches socialism, and he says that the new Democratic Party, not only are they socialists, but the new Socialist Party, they're actually 3 in 1. This is fantastic how they are an actual trinity, right? Like in the Bible, God, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Well, they have become one, which now they are socialist, Marxist, communist. Very interesting combination. I think it's very interesting. But that's the new socialism. So in case you guys didn't know, that's where we are in today's age, okay? They are all socialist, and that actually means that they're socialist, Marxist, communist. That's why everybody finds a little bit of familiarity on it. Okay, Zuboy, you ready to call in? I want you to enlighten me with your wisdom. And go ahead and come in and tell me how I am brainwashed. Let's see, Zuboy. Let me see. Are you going to call in or what? There you go. I want you to call in. Thank you, Grant. Thank you, Isu. Define Marxist. Marxist is people that practice telling a lie, a smear, and they tell the lie as many times as they can until everybody believes it. That's your Marxist. Socialist. Hell no. I know. Don't be a wuss. Listen, if you're going to call in here and insult me, you better at least have the balls to call in, okay? That's all I got to say. The socialists, they believe on redistributing wealth. Unfortunately, with socialism, you create a lot of lazy people. A lot of lazy people that believe that other people are there to support them. And that's a problem. Communism, I'm going to give you the biggest example right now, Venezuela. Communism is the corrupted, darker side of socialism, because when economies go down, they take away people's private businesses away from them. That's communism. The government controls your food. The government controls your health care. The government controls everything, including your job and how much you make and how much you sell products and how much you buy them for. That's communism. This is why they destroy. They are locusts. They come in, and as long as there is a oh my God, what is this? Cosecha. Somebody in Spanish. Anybody? Any Hispanics in the chat? Cosecha. Wow, seriously? It's so easy. It's in the tip of my brain, but I can't find the English word. When you reap your harvest, doggone it. Yeah, as long as there's a big harvest, the locusts are there and they're eating everything. But when they're done eating it, they leave. And there's nothing. There's nothing. All right, Zoo Boy, you call me brainwashed one more time and you don't call me, I'm going to remove you from the chat because you're not worth my time. Okay? I'll give you one last chance. All right, let's see. Who wants to call in? Put a 1 on the chat. And don't all call at once because I can't answer. And I hate hearing that little beep. Let's see. Anybody. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Nunez wants to give me a call? Okay. Let's see. Come on. I'm giving you freebies, man. I'll give you freebies. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. No one is above the law. All right. CMT wants to call in. All right. Go ahead. You can block your number by hitting *69. You start cussing me out, I'll hang up on you. So be respectful. Let's see. Cone, shut the hell up. This guy. At least say hello before, okay? Break the ice. Don't be a jerk. Go ahead, call. No one is above the law. I need you guys to tell me. Enlighten me. Show me the truth. Show me the tooth. Well, that's the phone number. Anybody, go ahead. Just when you call in, tell me your name. Yeah. Boricua in the house. What's going on, Mr. Vasquez? Welcome. Yeah, Cone. He's the felon, that has this multiple crimes, and he's got this big rap sheet of a really horrible history. But as soon as he gets out of the joint, he comes in here and starts making the same crime over and over. I've released him from the jail, and here he is. Doing what he knows best. Oh, Rusta, bro. Okay, you have no balls to call me, so shut the hell up. Let's see who else. Come on, brother. I'm waiting for you to call. Let me see. Did I put? Let me pin this up. There you go. Hey, hurry up, man. I'm falling asleep. I'm tired. Come on. Go ahead, Gerber. You can call. Yeah, Zoo Boy's dumb. I give him a chance. I give him the benefit of doubt. Ruslas Nunez says you can call me. Well, give me your phone number. I'll call you. No Epstein files. We don't have the Epstein files here. Why would you want to talk about Epstein files? I talked about Venezuela. I talked about the Democrats, how they like crime, how they don't like to clean their town. Talk about that. Not you, JR. I know you're on my side. I see these people call me brainwashed. So I want them to tell me why I'm brainwashed. Okay, that's it. Zoo Boy, get the hell out of my chat. Bye. You're an idiot. All right. What's up, brother? What you got?
Hey, my brother. You know what? Hey, I'm going to start off with today I found out I'm going to need to have surgery on my neck.
Oh, man, that sucks.
Yeah. I'm actually concerned. The older you get, the longer it takes to recover,
That's true.
But here's the thing that I'm going to bring up. It's about
Bye, Jocelyn.
Venezuela.
What's up in Venezuela?
I I want to talk to you about this the other night, man. You should have seen the Facebook post I posted about that. Now, keep in mind the stuff that I did in the Marine Corps. I spent a little time in Venezuela back when Chavez was still there.
Uh-huh.
You know, and people, you know, the left especially, you know, they're like, we can't go to a sovereign nation, take their leader. Well, you got to watch that rhetoric, because he was not their leader. He was not recognized as their leader. He was just a dictator that once he lost the election, he took his ball and, you know, said, screw you all, I'm staying here.
Yeah.
I don't care what y'all want. You know, so, and anyone that opposed him, he kind of took care of it. He didn't even hide it. You know, so with that said, the only difference between what Trump did and what I would have done in a perfect world where I would have been in charge is I would have dropped him in the middle of the Atlantic and let what happens happens.
Yeah.
You know, that's just me though.
But you know what though? That's a very good point, because other presidents have actually killed who they're supposed to grab. President Trump actually is, as horrible as he is a tyrant, as a dictator, as a wannabe king, blah, blah, blah. As horrible as he is, he brought him to justice.
Right. And here's the thing. Did you ever notice the irony in this? That the same people that were sitting there, no king's protest, are the same ones literally, you know, supporting a dictator that has done everything that Trump gets accused of doing.
Wait a minute. You're brainwashed. That's what these libtards always say. You're brainwashed.
No, I'm not, my friend, because you know, I have common sense. I've said it from the beginning. Even though I'm not a full Trump guy, I will respect the office no matter who's in office.
Right, right.
You know?
Well, we gave Biden 4 years, bro. We gave Biden 4 years, and then, well, it's our turn. That's all I'm saying. It's our turn.
Right. You know, and that's the thing. Two presidents, only two in history. You know, throughout our history, only two presidents have done this very same action and brought the person back alive. One was Reagan with Noriega, and two was Trump with Maduro. You know, you can't sit there and say you have an issue with this, but hey, we killed off Gaddafi. We killed off, and again, not. Well, I guess you could say three presidents if you count that we captured and tried Hussein, you know, and then gave him the death penalty. But that was a tribunal. That wasn't necessarily a actual U.S. court. Now, the only issue that I do have with the way they brought him back was that they sent him to New York. You know, granted, he's in a federal penitentiary in New York.
Yeah.
But New York is the worst state to send him to, especially when it comes to their courts. You know, it really is. He has more of a chance of getting off in New York than he does anywhere else in the United States.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but yeah, you know, you can't do it. And I'm sorry, my brother, I gotta say this because it isn't getting talked about enough. You know, the uprising going on in Iran with the people trying to take back their country from the Muslim fundamentalists.
Yeah.
It is something you watch. If you haven't watched this,
yeah, I know.
Watch it.
Yeah, I know about it. I mentioned it today earlier.
Tens of thousands of people going on the street. They're pushing the military back. What is it? The grandson of the Shah. He lives here in the States. he's, getting online, telling the military, either you stand with us or you stand against us. Be on the right side of history and sign up with us.
Yeah.
Dude, I am so pumped up. I may fly to Iran and go there.
Yeah, don't do that. Let them do their fight.
I know, but there's just something. There's something beautiful about. I don't want to say about an uprising, but technically it is an uprising, but it's an uprising for the right thing. Like them people have just been oppressed for 46, going on 47 years now. It long overdue. I am so happy that they're doing that. And I'm just one man. I'm keeping up with that story because now all I've ever known in my life. Keep in mind, I was 6 years old when the Shah fell. The Ayatollah took over there.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying no attention to politics back then. All I knew is back then, when the news showed all the anti-American demonstrations over there, the burning of the American flag by the Muslim fundamentalists over there. You know what? It's about time, and I wish that the generations of people that fled their country because of this, that they and are no longer with us, they could have seen it. Like I know you don't know this. You're about to learn this about me. I'm a big, like one of mine and my dad's bonding moments was we were both big pro wrestling fans. Okay. And when I was younger, I don't know why, I just found it more fun that I rooted for the bad guys. Okay? One of the bad guys that I rooted for, because he was just such a great instigator. And this is before I really got to know about his background, was a wrestler by the name of the Iron Sheik. Okay? The Iron Sheik was a medalist in the World Games in Greco-Roman wrestling for Iran, and he was also a coach for the Olympic teams. Before he came to the States, though, he was part of the security detail for the Shah when the Shah got overran. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And that's something that he always, in interviews, he would break down in tears talking about he always considered that as a failure, But, like he's no longer with us, but oh my God, I would have loved to have seen his reaction with him, because the person he played in wrestling was a pro-Muslim fundamentalist, basic in 1980s Iranian, anti-Americanism and all that. But that wasn't the guy that he was, in real life. I would have loved to have seen what his reaction would have been for him to see this uprising. I 100% believe he would have gone over there and taken part into it. It's amazing to see. It's amazing to see. And this country needs to wake up and see that, and a country that's been under Islamic rule for almost a half century, and, see what they're doing and why they're doing it. See how they treat Christians over there, and that the government is arresting openly practicing Christians, but that the Christians are so tired of it, they just don't care anymore, and that is causing the uprising. More people turn into Christianity, and the same since the bombings happened in Nigeria, same deal is happening over there. The world is waking up to these things.
Yep.
And this country is turning a blind eye because Trump bad. Trump bad. But yet the country, all these countries that we're aiding are just ecstatic that Trump is doing stuff about this. You know, maybe the people that don't like Trump, is he an asshole? Sure, I'm sure he is. But maybe
Only to Rosie O'Donnell.
even Rosie's angry. Even Rosie's angry that she moved over to Ireland, and Ireland's got a movement of make Ireland great again. It's driving her nuts.
You know what's funny is that Rosie O'Donnell left because she doesn't like Trump and she's sick of listening to Trump and this and that. But all she can do is talk about Trump. Like, why you leave? Like, what? It's like my haters. They hate me so much, but they keep coming in here, bro. Like, why? Why are you here?
Yeah, he lives rent free in her head. You know. and look, I met Rosie. Okay, she was in a movie called A League of Their Own, which is filmed in my hometown. I played, as irony would have it, I played a drunken sailor in that movie at 17 years old. I think I mastered that, but I got to meet the entire cast. Rosie was back then. She was just a wonderful person. She was a stand-up comic back then, you know, and I don't know. Maybe she always was the person she is now. She just kind of kept it hidden, you know, or maybe in order to get roles, you know, I'm going to go conspiracy theory. Maybe in order to get roles and get more money and this and that, she had to change her viewpoints. I mean, because think about it. She went from a stand-up comic to starting in a couple of movies to then having her own talk show for years. You know? So it didn't get to Oprah levels, but she was right there with Ricky Lake in ratings. So, you know, maybe there's something to that. I don't know. But whatever it is, now, you know, they are, you know, the more famous they are, the more against the right that they are. There's only, like, what, a handful that I can name off the top of my head, a handful of people, famous actors that stayed true to the right, like Clint Eastwood and, what's his name, Angelina Jolie's dad, you know, Schwarzenegger, kinda, you know, but yeah, a handful of them. You know, I gotta say this because I always enjoyed his show. You know, thoughts and prayers to Michael Reagan's family.
Oh yeah.
You know, the man was great. His passing truly saddened me. I loved his dad as you know, his dad is the one that got me initially interested. You know,
Yeah, it's all good, man. Don't worry about it. It's always good to hear you, my brother. Love you, man.
All right, brother. You take care. Love you too.
Vaya pues, ahí nos vemos. Chao.
Okay, hasta la próxima.
Órale. All right, go ahead, guys. JR has hung up the phone. You guys can go ahead and call in. Go ahead, Cookie. The phone number is pinned on there. David, you want to call me, David? Give me a call, David. Russ he's always saying that he doesn't know what the phone number is. It doesn't matter how many times we put it on there. I think he's probably just a bot. But David, I don't think David is a bot because David has actually made some sense sometimes. I don't agree with him, but he makes sense on some of the things he puts on there. Once in a while. All right. Cookie says Trump is an asshole. This is what I think about you, Cookie. This is you, Cookie. This guy, he said pin where? I don't know what third world country your internet is from, but the everybody can see that my phone number is pinned up at the on the screen there, little white bar. Click on it and you can see it. And I even typed it for you. Let's see. Somebody, you guys don't want to abide by the rules. Speak English, commit to our culture. There's going to be a problem. What do you mean? Let's see. If I move to another country, you damn well bet I'm going to speak the language and adjust to the culture. It's common sense. It is, but I think that once you're to a certain age, I don't. When you're to a certain age, I don't think that really qualifies. To be honest, like for example, if somebody is, I don't know. I guess that you can say if you're past 50s, I think it'll be harder for you to pick a language, but you can still break it. You can, even if you have a heavy accent, you can still kind of learn some of the words. I don't mind when people try to speak Spanish and they have like a horrible grammar and accent when they talk. Every time when they speak to me, I can understand what they're saying. So if you got some words in there, I can kind of make up what you're trying to say. So I guess I help you cheat. I'll try to communicate. I will try to understand everything, including hand gestures and pointing and whatever. I watch for all that if I'm trying to understand you. Okay. Yeah, he's probably using dial-up. That's what the problem is. But there's the number right there. If you're calling from internationally, just dial 1 and that number right there, and you should be able to get through. Australia. Yo quiero Taco Bell. Do you want a soft taco or a crunchy taco? ¿Por qué no los dos? That little girl was so cute. A little Mexican commercial. There was this little girl. She saw the uncle and the dad or somebody was arguing if they want to eat a soft taco or a crunchy taco. And the commercial was for a double-decker, a flour tortilla with beans and a hard crunchy taco with beef. I think that was the best invention for Taco Bell. All right, who's calling? Thanks for calling. Go ahead. You're on the phone.
Yeah, hey, my name's Rob.
Rob?
And,
You're not Ross, are you?
Can you hear me?
You're not Ross Nunez?
Rob Robertson.
Robert. It's okay. Just the first name is fine. Don't worry. It's just because Ross keeps saying that I didn't put the phone number down. There you go, Robert. Ross, for some reason, Robert called. So don't make excuses. All right, brother. What you want to teach me today?
Well, I'm older, and
I can't hear you.
yeah. Can you hear me? All right.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay, go for it.
Okay. So here's the deal. Venezuela, the history going back to before Chavez, the United States had invested a lot of money, really billions of dollars to go in there and to help those people with their oil because they didn't know how to refine that oil. They didn't know how to, a small percentage of Venezuela's oil has been tapped. So, the liberals and the Democrats want to say that, hey, the United States is going in and steal their oil. And, we went into Iraq. How much oil did we get out of that? They said the same shit then. But at any rate, we had Americans that invested in, and Americans were going to make money as well, but so were Venezuelans. And so, when Chavez came in, and Venezuelans had a lot better quality of life. And then when Chavez came in, all that changed. And And the United States, all the people that had invested money were forced out of that country, and they weren't compensated for all the money that they invested there.
Hold on, brother. Hey, if you're trying to call, I have Robert on the phone right now, guys. Just wait until he hangs up, and then you guys can call. Okay? All right, go ahead, bud.
So at any rate, I'll try to keep this on the subject, but
Yeah.
This goes back to Chavez, so there's a lot of history there.
Yeah.
So after that,
Lost you again.
okay. So at any rate, you get these socialist communists in there, and of course they're crooked to begin with. There's lots of money and drugs. Colombia's there. And
Yeah.
that's what Maduro was. He was like a drug lord,
Yep.
dictator. Those people became impoverished.
Yep.
Their quality of life, if they were to do what the liberals do in the United States, that they would not be, he'd go out, they'd be gone. He didn't put up with any of that. So,
Yeah.
They say Trump's a dictator, but they can talk all kinds of shit about him.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Venezuelans couldn't do that. And
Yep.
they were impoverished.
Exactly.
And they lived under that for 27 years.
That's right. Yep.
And the thing about it is, they say, he did so many things that was an act of war. We've had over, I think, 250,000 of our youth that has died from the fentanyl.
Yeah.
I live in Texas. I lost my niece lost her 17-year-old son, and he didn't even know he was taking fentanyl. It was laced with fentanyl.
Yeah, it was laced. Yep.
He was 17. She'd sent out invitations for his 18th birthday party, and he died.
Yeah.
And so she had to bury her son instead of having a birthday party for it.
Yeah,
he was
that's sad.
17 years old.
Yeah, that's sad, man.
And Maduro, that alone, killing Americans like that, emptying his prisons out, sending all the violent prisoners to the United States, sending the people in their insane asylums. That's a douchebag move to make.
Yeah.
And all of that was an act of war. So if it was just one thing that we went and took him out for, the fentanyl, that would have been plenty enough reason to go take his ass out. So they say, it was a sovereign country. Everything that he did was an act of war. And the thing about it is that Monroe Doctrine really does apply here, because, that Monroe Doctrine, we made an agreement that we would stay out of Europe's hemisphere,
Yeah.
and they would stay out of ours.
Yep.
And that really is, Russia was going in there, Japan or China was
China.
going in there.
Yep.
And the thing about it is, he was even funding Hamas and terrorists.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so was
this
the
guy was a bad guy.
so
And
was the Arabs, but
his
Qatar.
people were miserable under him, but he ruled with an iron fist. I mean, he had those people so suppressed, and so that's the thing. The liberals of America, when they were complaining and griping about the United States going into sovereign country, the very best thing to happen was what happened when they saw the Venezuelans dancing in the streets, and all those people saying, you can have our oil. Our freedom is more important to us. But the thing about it is, how are we going to steal their oil? Only 3% of it's tapped. The thing about it is, we're going to go in and help them, and it's going to be a boost to the United States. It's also strategically, it was bullshit that China and Russia and Iran was in our hemisphere. That was an act of war as well. So it was a justified thing to take Maduro out. So Iran sees that now. They've been under the same bullshit. And, Iran, they're Persians. They're not Arabs. And they're good people. And they don't like their government. And, you know, a lot of Iranians, they don't have any beef with Israel either.
Yeah, I know that.
They really don't.
I know that.
So, at any rate, I don't want to be too long-winded, but so what's happening right now is Iran's seen what's happened in Venezuela, and they've seen them freed from 27 years of oppression, and they've been under oppression for longer than that. When the Shah was there, they lived like a Western country.
Well, that's gonna change pretty soon, but we have to wait. We have to wait to see what happens because things are changing over there as well. Did you have a question for me?
And you know, that's kind of a situation where if they take them out, well, then who comes into power? Because whoever comes into power has all the money of the oil over there. Well, well, yeah. What do you think as far as Iran goes? If they take Iran out and all their proxies disappear, what's that going to do to the Mideast?
I can't really comment on it, but I do know that the actual crown prince is going to take over. At least that's the idea of it. And the crown prince actually has made deals with President Trump. So I'm hoping that something good happens, unless he turns back and says something different once he's in power. But we'll have to see what's going to happen with that. Right now, we need to concentrate more on Venezuela because they are in our hemisphere. And I agree with Marco Rubio and President Trump.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm... Absolutely.
All right, let me go ahead and give somebody else a chance to call in, okay? Thanks for calling, Robert. Appreciate you. Have a good night, buddy. Later. Okay, go ahead, Rickman. Rip man, rest in peace, man. Go ahead and call in. Or whoever was trying to call in, you can call in. You can call in now. All right, who's calling?
Yes, your mother, motherfucker. You came from Honduras with no shoes, and now you are kissing.
Wrong. Wrong. That's not how you call. Learn some manners. Learn some manners before you call. Anybody else that is actually serious about calling and give me a lesson. Tell me your point of view. Don't worry about it, David. It's all good. I've handled chumps like this all the time. These punk asses don't know I'm from El Barrio. They don't know me. They think I'm just this kind guy. No. Go ahead, Keon. Why don't you call me? I'm curious. All right, who's calling?
Yeah, you came with no shoes from.
Nah. All right, there we go. All right, who's calling?
Gerber from the chat.
All right, brother, what you got?
How does it feel that the people that let 20 million over the border illegally spew nothing but racist comments at you and tell you to get out?
Yeah, it's okay, man.
I mean, really.
Yeah, I in a way, I kind of understand because the way that I talk, I'm very direct. I don't hold myself back, and I am on the opposite side of what they learned. And sometimes what the problem is that when somebody believes what they are told is the truth, they have no room to have a conversation. And when they get angry, and they just call in, I'm giving them a chance, man. Nobody's paying for my phone, right? I mean, this is not my personal phone, but it's still a phone line that I pay to be able to give people a chance. And calling in just insults and stuff, that's not going to help. So it doesn't go anywhere. But people that hate me on the chat, they don't know me. They don't know how I have helped thousands and thousands of people. I can guarantee you that these people haven't even helped one person.
Oh,
and the thing is, they judge me because I'm a migrant as well. And what they fail to understand is that I am a migrant, but my mother taught me that even when we were from El Barrio, a very poor neighborhood, Okay, it's a very poor community, and there was thieves and there was drug dealers and there was all kinds of people around us. We have to choose what was right, what was good, what was righteous. And my mom taught me that. And my mom taught me that we don't come to this country illegally. A lot of people from my country, especially from the poor areas, they are very uneducated. And so I know how to talk like they do. I know how to insult. These guys can't handle me. If I start insulting them, they'll probably pee in their pants. But, it's not about, who can insult the best. It's about who can actually try to listen to the other person. As hateful as they can be to me on the chat, for me to allow them to call me in, I would think that shows a little sign of good faith to, hey, let's have a conversation. Let's see what's up. But they ruined that opportunity by coming in and just being nasty. I am not.
You can't have a civil conversation.
No, you can't. Yeah, you can. Absolutely, you can't. He said, we're all from the same neighborhood. Yeah, but you know what the difference is, Núñez? Is that you are uneducated. Eres vago. Eres un malcriado. No tienes educación. Your mother didn't teach you anything, apparently. And when you talk to people the way you talk to, like right now, when I'm giving you a chance to call in personally, you are actually putting your whole family in shame because of your ignorance and your lack of respect for others. So don't worry about it, brother. I appreciate you calling in, man, and let me know that you got my back in there. And I appreciate every single person that actually, that understands where I'm from. These guys are stupid. I know these pendejos. These guys think that that I don't know their kind. That we call them street hobos. They have no education. They don't understand what it's like to be civilized, so to speak. They're savages. No, they don't. Yeah, they don't want to. That is correct, and that is a very a choice that they have made themselves.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate your call. God bless you, brother.
You too.
Thanks. Yeah. No, I'll tell you who brings shame to Honduras. People that break the law. That's what brings shame to Honduras. Everybody that I talked to when I was in Honduras, they told me that those who come here illegally bring shame to the country Honduras. So you know what? I made an oath when I was a child that I would respect and love and make others respect and love and honor our flag, our country. And you know what? When you respect the law, you're representing that country wherever you go. And the difference is, I came to this country in the right way. I respected the law. I give honor and respect their citizens. They have given me the privilege to become an American citizen, and I am grateful for it. So guess who gives shame to their people? Idiots like you guys that don't know how to have a conversation when you have a chance to have it. What have you done for your country? Go ahead, put it in the chat. Tell me all the accomplishments of all the things that you have done in your country. I guarantee you have done nothing. You have done nothing. Let's see. They are street urchins. This guy. Núñez, you're a dumbass, bro. You had a chance to call in and have a conversation, bro. You just got away with some bullshit right there. Yeah, okay. Sure. Hey, just because you're jealous doesn't mean that I'm going to go ahead and give you the time of day. All right. We're just going to go ahead and get rid of this guy. This guy's an idiot. This guy's an idiot. I gave you the chance, took you out of timeout, but apparently you're not worth my time, brother. So get the hell out of here. Bye, Felicia. All right. Now, with that out of the way, let me see. Who was the other guy that was over here just talking shit for no reason? So if you're in my chat and you got a chance to call my number, the phone number is pinned in there, but the moment you start coming in here cussing me out, that's not going to fly. Okay? You want to teach me something? Show me that you're educated first. Okay? Okay. Hippie redneck, what the hell are you doing back here, bro? Why can't you stay away from my channel? I don't understand. Would you like me to help you stay away from my channel? Put a 1 on the chat if you want me to help you stay away from my channel. I can help you right now. I'm a beaner. Yes, I know I'm a beaner. Go ahead, just put a 1 on the chat, bro. Put a 1 in the chat, and I will help you never coming back to my channel. Go ahead. Come on. You can do it. All right. While you make up your mind on that, we're going to go ahead and go to our next video. And this is one of the senators that I have actually learned to respect. Not because I think that, he's the best senator, but because he has shown me that he is country first and party second. You guys already know who I'm talking about. All right. So, BDS, you want to be banned permanently? Okay. Is that if you put a 1 in there, that means that you want me to ban you from my channel. Is that right? Have you seen her? Tell me, have you seen her? Have you seen her? All right, I'll give you a chance. Okay, Israel, you're blocked. Bye. Anybody else? Okay, BDS weed. Okay, done. Who else wanted to be banned? I can't see any other messages. I'll give you one more chance. Let's see what you say.
Yeah, I fucked your mother in Honduras.
Oh, you did, pendejo. Ni huevos tienes, cabrón. ¿De qué estás hablando, cabrón? No tienes huevos. El pitito así de chiquito, mira. Mámatelo, cabrón, a ver si te crece. Get out of here with that, bro. Eres del gemelo de mi huevo izquierdo, cabrón. All right. Okay. So, because of this jackass that calls in like that, no more block numbers. So I will not answer block numbers from now on. Okay? Sorry about that. If you don't want to call in with your number, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, Angel Miranda. Oh, okay. I thought Miranda wanted to get out of here. All right, who else? Denise Poland. You trying to get banned from my channel? Just put a 1 on the chat if you want to be banned. If you want to be banned from my channel, I will help you out, and I will ban you forever. I will never bring you back. That's all good. Let's see. Rip Mango Man. I think this is the guy that's calling in to hanging up on me, right? All right, let's see who's calling in. All right, who's calling?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
This is Dean.
Hey, Dean. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good.
All right, what you got for me, man?
I wanted to call in and talk about how much I hate both political parties.
Yeah, I feel you. Yep, I feel you there.
Democrats, their open border shit to replace us, I think that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Well, the mainline Democrats, there's some good Democrats, I think.
I'm about to play one of them. Yeah, and the Republican, which side, which part of the Republicans you don't like? The politicians, I'm sure
Trump.
you're talking about.
Trump and people who just blindly listen to what he says.
Like what?
Like this ICE shooting recently.
Yeah, I saw the message. I didn't buy the whole thing. I saw what I saw. I think he exaggerated on the injuries, but then again, he's receiving information. I don't know who's to blame on that one. Remember, a lot of the info that presidents give us, somebody's giving him that information.
Like CIA?
Well, CIA lies to us all the time. They said it themselves. But for the COVID, remember Dr. Fauci was telling President Trump what he was to do, and he came out on the press and he will say it, and then Fauci will say something else behind that kind of stuff. Yeah, but I agree with you. I think sometimes that what he says in there. See, I always take everything with a grain of salt, and just to see what happens. And sometimes he exaggerates. I know I do the same thing. I exaggerate too, but you got to see what's happening. Like for me, with people hating him doing this thing with Venezuela, Biden and other people have said all these things about him, and they believe he's guilty in the courts here in New York. And the day that he goes down there and does this, the Venezuelan people are very excited and happy about it. But then everybody hates him in this country. Well, not everybody, but on the Democrat side, everybody hates him in this country. And, it's like they didn't want him to change regime. So he decided, okay, let's play it right. Let's leave the vice president there so they don't see, so they don't think that I'm changing the regime. And well, now they're saying that he made a mistake because he left the vice president in power. And it's like, well, what did you do? You left her there. It's like, what I see from it is I defend President Trump because you see how people talk about me right now? And I believe in what I say. I believe what I say is that. See, and that's an accusation that you can make, but it's not proven, and that's the problem.
Why does he cover for Epstein 24/7?
He's not. He already signed the papers. He has nothing to do with that.
He was forced to sign the papers from the Democrats.
You know why?
Because it was going to pass.
Yeah, but why do you think he did that?
Because it's an absolutely terrible look. And then even his own supporters will start questioning.
Yeah, it's only going to be bad if he, let's say he signed it, right? He signed it, and then innocent people get hurt because he signed it. And for all the things that he has gone through, I don't blame him for using that tactic. You know what? Let them force me to sign it. Because that way I'm going to say, hey, remember, you know the story about Pontius Pilate, right? With Christ?
I've never heard of that.
Okay, so Christ was at the tribunal, and the Jews wanted to crucify him. They wanted to get rid of him. They wanted to kill him. Well, there was a holiday, and it was customary to release one of the prisoners that Caesar has, right? Pontius Pilate is kind of like a mayor, or I can't think of the position, but he asked the people. He said, it's a customary to release one of the prisoners. And they said, who do you want? And they said, we want Barabbas. Barabbas was a known thief and criminal that he should be in jail. And Jesus, well, he was an innocent man. And Pontius Pilate knew that.
With America?
Well, I'm going to give you an example. And so Pontius Pilate knew that he was innocent, right? So he said, who do you want? And well, everybody said, we want the criminal. Okay, so he goes around, he grabs a bowl of water, and he washes his hands. And he says, I wash my hands, and the blood of this innocent man is in your hands. So what happens is he forced Congress, he forced all of them. He forced all of them to vote, to request it. And that way, when he signed the paper, he's washing his hands like Pontius Pilate. That's what that means. Washing your hands like Pontius Pilate. That's what that means. That you put the blame on the actual people, and that he cannot be blamed because it wasn't his decision to make. He allowed others to make that decision for him. So I believe that's why he did that. And if you see how everybody attacks him, well, even you, that you don't like either side, that's the common sense thing to think, because this is what they say. Now, see, I don't know if it's because I'm a Gemini, born in, 76. I think different than a lot of people, and I've seen all these tricks played in history, even in my country, even in friends and family. I've seen these things played out. And so they can't fool me. I don't play that shit. I like to be able to analyze things. I like to critically think the situation, not just make a decision right away, like with this whole car with ICE. Okay. I've been telling people for a very long time, listen, man, they're going to shoot you, man. You guys keep getting there. You keep throwing rocks. You keep doing this. You keep blocking ICE with cars. You're going to get shot. You know what? Well, yesterday was that day. And what happens with everybody else? Oh, my God. But what now is like, it's too late. She put herself in that position. She didn't have to be there. And that's the thing, like, they're federal agents. There's rules for this. Like, if you go and see what can you do to protest against federal agents, there is nothing in there that says that you can get in front of the car, you can stop an investigation that they're doing, et cetera. So everybody has mixed emotions about that, and they get all emotional.
She was waving by.
No, she wasn't.
She was saying, go around me.
No, she wasn't. Did you see when she got there?
Was out. One car went around her.
Yeah, well, she wasn't telling the agents. The agents told her to get out. Like, she was fleeing for her life. I understand that. But you know what? Now you're resisting. She should have left when they told her to get out of the car, that she would have been out of the car. And if they shot her, well, that'll be on them. But the fact is that she made that mistake. I don't think she deserves it. Of course not. But that was a mistake, and she paid for it.
And then MAGA altogether labels her a terrorist out of nowhere, which is complete bullshit. That disgusts me.
Well, the people that are out there causing this ICE agents that we need to deport people, I think that's the domestic terrorism. when they're out there throwing rocks like Antifa. They're a domestic terrorist group, and I don't understand why they don't put their ass in jail. But they're being lenient. They're being careful with it. All I hope out of all this, because you can't bring it back, out of all this, that I just hope that people stop trying to interfere with ICE. I don't think they're going to learn the lesson, to be honest, but that's what I feel. I don't think she deserved to die, but she made a mistake, and the cop reacted. Remember, this is the same guy that got dragged around. That was it last year, somewhere in June, I think. Right? He got stitches. He even got drugged and everything. They screw him over. And they have been doxing ICE agents. And I wish that the people on the left, for once, they will go and say, hey, people, stop blocking ICE. Stop getting in their way. Stop throwing things at them. That's assault. That's what makes you a domestic terrorist group, because you're fighting against the federal agents that are doing their job. They're lawfully there to do their job. And mayors and governors, they're not helping. They're just telling people that they're murderers, they're Nazis. Come on, they give me all those names, and I know I'm not that. So, as much as it can trigger my emotions or whatnot, it doesn't give us the right. If we're going to protest, it doesn't give us the right to go over there and throw blowhorns and cuss them out and disorient them, with, all these yelling and noises. Yeah, but keep your distance. It's not that you can't do that from a distance. It's you don't get it. You don't have the right to get in their face. You got the right to remain silent if you get in their face. So, I play a lot of videos of people getting arrested, and people say, look, he's not resisting arrest. Well, I don't know. When 3 people cannot move that arm back, he's resisting arrest. You've seen the videos. People say they're not resisting, but yet, for some reason, that hand doesn't quite make it back there, does it? Here we go. George Zimmerman says, what about Chaz? Yeah, Chaz over here in Seattle. They took over a couple of blocks of the city of Seattle. They actually took over the police precinct here in Washington, and nothing got done. Nobody went to jail. They did for a couple of days, and they got released. But this is the blue governors. I know you have hard feelings against MAGA, but, Make America Great is about Americans. It's not about Trump. Remember, that slogan comes from Ronald Reagan. It doesn't really come from Donald Trump. So that's why I support MAGA. This is why you see MAGA Nation in my background. You see that?
But aren't corporations leaving America right now?
No, they're coming back. They're leaving blue states. That's different.
Why are we losing jobs every single quarter or whatever?
Well, for here,
Why do they have to make up reports for that?
Yeah, I can't speak up for the whole country, right? But for here, Seattle, I can tell you that we have lost thousands of jobs. We have big corporations leaving because our government has been taxing the crap out of them. And this year, as a matter of fact, there is a new progressive tax that the more money they make, the higher the tax they're going to have to pay on top of the already over high enough tax.
Well, good. They can give that money to the workers then.
Yeah, well, so what do you think? Well, what state are you in? Let me see what state you're in. Iowa, okay. Would you say that Iowa, how much do you need in Iowa to, let's see. Yeah, to live, but I want to, okay, let's see. What do you think is a median? Like an average pay that you think is good pay?
Oh, I don't know, $18, I would say.
Like how much do you think a year?
$80,000 maybe.
80,000?
I haven't really put that much thought into it though.
So the only reason why I ask is because here's the thing: these corporations that are leaving, they're paying people anywhere between $75,000 to $150,000 a year. That puts them in middle class over here in Washington. So if you're making $60,000 for you single, you're good. But for a family, it has to be over $150,000. So in Washington State, in Seattle, especially if you live on the close to the city, it's going to be more expensive. The more you live out in the country, it should be cheaper, right? But it's not because of taxes. People here in Washington State can never be homeowners because they will never be able to truly own the house because they got to pay a really high property taxes, especially with the taxes that started this year. So what has happened is, you heard of Microsoft, yes? So Microsoft provides tens of thousands of jobs here in Seattle.
They're a monopoly. They need broken up.
Well, the problem is, well, you have Apple too, right? That's a competition. Yeah, so Apple doesn't want to come here.
Agree to not compete.
Well, Apple doesn't want to be here. Microsoft doesn't want to be here. Boeing, which is the biggest, I think they have like 30,000 employees here, and they pay very good. They don't want to be here either. You know, and it's
They don't know how to build fucking aircrafts.
yeah. Well, they got 30,000 people, and these people make a lot of money. I don't agree with this salary for a CEO of like what was it, $30-something million. I think that's ridiculous. I will fight that.
Billions.
Yeah. So the owners, that's different, right? They're the owners. They should get all the money that they can get.
Tesla's ever made.
Yeah, the owners, but not managers, not CEO. You know, I mean, CEO, I guess, could be the owner of the company, but I guess that is an owner. Yeah, I don't know. There's some things like I just say this: if I give you 100 jobs, is it okay that I make double the salary?
That's yeah.
Yeah. What if I double that force? Can I make quadruple the salary that you make? Why?
I mean, you could, but I wouldn't say that's a good plan.
That's how I look at it.
Scale it up to 2,000.
Yeah, so that's how
It's ridiculous.
yeah, so that's how I look at it. So if I'm a business owner, I gotta have an incentive, right? Why should I try to get richer if I am not gonna get richer? Because if I get richer, you're gonna take all my money. Why would I want to sacrifice my life, my time?
Well, I think there actually should be a wealth limit. I don't think we need trillionaires in this world. I think Elon's going to be the first trillionaire.
Why not? They pay more taxes that way. Their tax bracket is higher. Now, you know, rich people, they they're smart. They hire lawyers and they'll go through the loops or whatever. But that's lawmakers. They make the rules. They make the laws. The reason
Lawmakers are garbage.
they are garbage. I agree with you on that one. I think we don't need them. But you know, this is why. Like when I watched the Trump going against Hillary, you remember that there was a little conversation where she accused him of all these millions of dollars not paying taxes. You remember that, right? The whole Trump doesn't pay taxes. Remember that? Okay. So Trump said. So Trump said, okay, listen, her friends, all of her donors. All the billionaires, her friends, they all do the same thing that I do. If she doesn't want me to take advantage of it, which is legit, that's what it's for, then why doesn't she change it? She doesn't change it because then she'll lose all those donations. And he's right. As much as people hate him, he's right. You know, so that's where I'm at. And you can see I'm not trying to like be a jerk to you. It's just, you know, I agree with you with the point of view. Yeah, sure, I can see why. But, you know, that's the reason why I defend Trump. Now,
Can I ask you something?
yeah, go ahead.
Do you think the 2020 election was actually stolen?
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. Only because...
But Trump is the one with actual evidence that was trying to overturn the election.
Well, they put what is that lady's name? They put somebody that put her hands, I guess, saying that there was something was going wrong or something was not right with the machine. And they put her ass in jail because she touched the machine or some shit like that. And I think Trump, I don't know if he pardoned her already, if anybody in the chat knows. I don't know if he pardoned her already, but he was saying that she shouldn't have been arrested. And now we have, who you said Iowa is where you're from, or Ohio? Ohio.
Iowa.
Okay, Iowa. There was, I can't remember the state, man. I just talked about this about a week or two ago. They just found 315,000 votes, I think is what it was, that were not legitimate, and they counted those towards Democrats. I think that's a problem.
Talking about them sending mail-in ballots for like dead people.
That's part of it. That's part of it. But no, there's another. Let me see. Maybe Google will find it. 350,000, 15,000 votes. Let's see if it shows me anything.
I think
okay, so it's 315,000 unassigned early votes in Fulton County, Georgia. There you go. Proof of electoral fraud. So some people say, no, that's not true. But then we saw the news and the report, and they say, yeah, we know, but it's still legit. You know, that kind of stuff, right? But the reason why I think he stole it is because the same thing happened in Venezuela. And the same thing happened in other countries in Latin America. Remember, I'm Latin. I'm Latino. So I listened to all this news, and I even had a video. I deleted it because I didn't have memory on my hard drive. This was before I got new hard drives. And I deleted the video, but they had proof, and they showed how the software, Minion, right? That was in the Dominion, I think, or something like that. How it would, you can put a vote, and you can put it, let's say, for A class, and the machine will switch it to B class for some reason, right? And they brought that up, and they denied it. You know, they got away with it. And, you know, right here, Giuliani was sued for like hundreds of millions, if not a billion. I don't know. I don't remember how many millions, but he was sued by them, and they won. They made him pay that money. But now that we're finding that this fraud is actually more clear by the day, we have to wait, man. It's just time. It just, everything takes time. Too much damn time. We don't have enough time to convince ourselves.
TLDR, burn it all down. Make something nice out of it.
Yeah. I hope that we can change everything. You know, guys, I hope that we can find some common ground so that we can stop this fraud that happens. We need to make sure that everybody has a voter ID. I think Rush says that it's very difficult for her to be able to actually go vote in person. Well, I think that if you cannot make the trip to go vote, you don't get to vote. Okay? And only those who are able to go in to vote should be allowed to vote. It is that simple, because the only time that we're going to be able to cut down on crime like that or cheating is if we actually hold everybody to the same standards. Trump say on Truth Social, free Tina Peters. Is that her name, Tina Peters? I think that's the lady's, right? That's the lady's name? Man, I'm glad you're paying attention, brother. Okay, let's see. Trump is punishing Colorado over Tina Peters. Okay. Let's see what he says here. There's actually a clip here.
President Trump's use of pardons is a Rorschach test of sorts on how people view his second term. For some, he's undoing Justice Department, quote, weaponization. For others, he's letting loyal followers get away with crimes. Earlier this year, President Trump pardoned around 1,500 people for their involvement in efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election. As we near the 5th anniversary of the January 6th Capitol attack, one high-profile election denier remains behind bars. And as White House correspondent Liz Landers reports, there's little Trump can do to get former Colorado County Clerk Tina Peters out of prison.
President Donald Trump has been on a pardoning spree of late, using his executive power to bestow clemency on convicted businessmen and the former president of Honduras.
Every time I hear those news, man, just pisses me off. Because I know this president was set up. That's what pisses me off about these people, man. That they can put anybody they want in jail, but they themselves that need to be in jail, nobody can put their ass in jail. Pisses me off. Every time they bring the Honduras president, it just pisses me off because I know he's innocent.
No oro pendejo.
Well, they didn't make a mistake. They erased it.
He recently announced on social media that he was pardoning Tina Peters, a former Colorado County clerk, though his pardon power only covers federal crimes, not her state convictions. He wrote online the Democrats had, quote, been relentless in their targeting of her.
She caught people cheating on an election, and they said she was cheating. She wasn't cheating.
She may not be a household name, but Peters' case has become a rallying cry for MAGA and the president since her conviction last year. Tina Peters served as the Mesa County clerk administering elections in the Colorado community after being first elected in 2018. A Republican, Peters became a vocal election denier, questioning the 2020 results and the voting machines used to conduct them.
No one has addressed looking into the machines to see what has been happening by these vendors, by this vendor that manufactures the machines and what goes on. It's been a mystery box, a mystery black box.
In 2021, Peters allowed someone associated with MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell to misuse a security card to gain access to the county election system and lied about his identity.
And she knows what she did. And she knows what she did was brave, but it wasn't wrong.
Her attorney, Peter Tickton, says Peters doesn't regret her actions.
For her to admit to wrongdoing would have to be because she's either brainwashed herself or others brainwashed her, or I mean, she'd be living a falsity.
Peters was charged in 2023 with 10 counts related to the scheme. A Republican district attorney prosecuted the case. She was convicted.
Guys, what can we say? What can we say about a party that calls President Donald Trump a tyrant, a king, a dictator, and curse him, and want to impeach him, and they want to get rid of him, and they say all these nasty things about Trump, and the actual dictator from Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, they treat him like St. Peter. Free Maduro. Free Maduro. That's the party. Same people. Same people. The same people that took away your rights during COVID-19 and forced you to get the jab. To hell with your rights, they said. Quoting Arnold Schwarzenegger. I get it. He panicked. I understand why he said that. But that's what the Democrats were doing. Their faces get light up like demons, hating on us. I said this before. They threatened to take away my job if I didn't take the shot. So there you go. We have proof. They are the evil ones. And until they change who they are, nothing's going to change. They're going to get away with murder every single time. I've said this before. You know, when I made a video about Melissa Hartman, I mentioned it. And I said on the video, listen to her. She is afraid for her dear life. Literally. You want to talk about some theories and some dark, deep, bad stuff in the deep state? They know they will take you out. They know. I'm going to prove it to you. This guy kills Melissa and her husband. Conveniently enough, they find all the plans, all the pictures, and a list of all the names, and the guy gets caught. Conveniently, right away, gets caught. And what he say? Tampon Tim hired him. Tampon Tim comes on the press, news press, and says it was a political assassination. Wait, whoa, they haven't even said anything yet. How do you know, Tim? How do you know, Tim? Look at the fraud that's happening in Minnesota. It's not just in Minnesota, but that's where he's from. Look at the mayor. If the mayor tells you, if the mayor tells the police, get the F out of my city, what will happen to that mayor? Because he said that about ICE. And he now is excusing the language. What do you want, the F word or somebody killed? F word or somebody killed? I think somebody killed is worse. That's not the point, is it? His words, they've been saying the same hateful words to their people, and the people go on the street and they act on it. Yeah, it's the same people. The same people that probably took out Epstein, because Epstein was going to come in and confess. He was going to try to come in and make a deal. He was going to release the name of everybody. And I'm going to tell you right now, if Trump was involved in the Epstein files the way that you idiots on the left side think, Epstein wouldn't have sent an anonymous email to somebody. He would have named them by name and with this and with that and with this. He had nothing to lose. He was in jail. Nothing to lose. Tell on Trump, especially because he betrayed him with the real estate deal. Trump broke up with him. Remember that. Kicked him out. He was going to make a deal and he committed suicide. How convenient is that? That he agrees that he's going to do a testify. He's going to testify, he agrees. Why do you think he will have to take his life away? There's no reason. He's already in jail. What are they going to do to him? I don't believe he gets the death penalty. No reason. And then the people, oh, we'll talk to Maxine. Okay. They talked to her. I don't believe her. But she said the nicest things about Trump and about Bill Clinton. If she only said that about Trump, okay, maybe I believe her. But the fact that she said the same things about Bill Clinton, knowing that they got skeletons in their closet, right? Yeah, same party. So Larry Newsom 2028. You guys never learn. You guys never learn. You guys never learn.
In summer of 2024, of 7 of those charges, 3 counts of attempting to influence a public servant, 1 count of conspiracy to commit criminal impersonation, first-degree official misconduct, violation of duty, and failing to comply with the Secretary of State.
Now, the reason why Trump pardons her, of course, he believes that she's innocent. Of course, she believes that she has found something that got her in trouble. But I'm going to tell you more to that. The Biden administration, conveniently, was in bed with Nicolas Maduro, whether you like it or not. He's in bed with Nicolas Maduro. And so was the president of Honduras that we just got rid of. She was also in bed with Nicolas Maduro. And guess who else is in bed with Nicolas Maduro? Nicaragua. You know who else? Mexico. You know who else? Cuba. You know who else? Iran, China, Russia. All of them. All of them are in bed with each other. And the only ones that defend every single one of those things that I just mentioned, every single one of those countries that I mentioned, Democrats. They're the only ones that defend them at all cost. For Pete's sakes, they're calling an actual dictator, Nicolas Maduro, St. Peter compared to President Donald Trump. How ridiculous. How ridiculous. Yeah, the Chinese are winning. You wish. We're not going to let them. We're not going to let them win. We are already winning. You know what I find interesting is that we know that the best customer, I guess, for oil is investing heavily on electric cars. Good luck. Good luck. And you guys are the same people that talk about the environment. You talk about the environment, and electrical cars are worse for the environment than actual petrol cars. Man, I think it was David. Somebody said it on the chat. They will find out when it's too late. It always happens that way. It always happens that way.
District judge sentenced her to 9 years in prison, not mincing words at her.
Angel Miranda, you know nothing, says the illegal in my chat. Keep Mexico out of your mouth. What are you, bro? You cartel, bro? Are you cartel? Swimson? You got something to say? All right. Well, you can go ahead and call my number. It's over there. It's pinned on the chat. You can call my number. But you don't get to block your number. You get to call me, and then you can go ahead and tell me that. Teach me. Enlighten me. Thank you, Faith. Take that, libtards. These people like to come in here and just talk so bad about me. You know, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Faith Walker. You're awesome. I appreciate it.
Sentencing.
Your lies are well documented, and these convictions are serious. I'm convinced you would do it all over again if you could. You're as defiant as a defendant as this court has ever seen. You are no hero, you abused your position, and you're a charlatan.
During his second...
Wait, was that a Democratic judge? Is that one of the activist judge? Who was the judge on this case?
Term, President Trump has repeatedly pressured the Justice Department and Colorado officials to pardon or release Peters, writing in August, quote, "If she is not released, I'm going to take harsh measures." Democratic Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold spoke to PBS NewsHour about that pressure campaign.
What happens with Trump is he tries to push the line, tries to push people pretending he has authority that he does not. And if they
I don't hate Mexicans, just the cartels.
refuse an unlawful order or an unlawful executive order or request, then the retaliation starts from him, but also the far right.
This is just the latest in a series of moves to rewrite the 2020 election. The president recently pardoned prominent members of his 2020 campaign.
What's the name of the judge? Does anybody know the name of the judge on this? Oh, Mexico will be fantastic. Mexico will be fantastic if it wasn't for the cartels. These people, the president is afraid of the cartels. That's the bottom line. She's either leading the cartels or she is afraid of, for her life, of the cartels. But what she doesn't understand, and I don't know, maybe she's doing something behind doors because they know dang and well that President Trump can do precision strikes, can do specific missions like the one in Iran that nobody knew anything about, and like like Nicolas Maduro that nobody knew about until he was actually in our possession. You know, Larry, I want to tell you something. I know only great people from Jalisco, but I don't know about the corrupted ones, okay? I have met the nicest people from Jalisco, from Colima, Manzanillo. Beautiful, beautiful people. Now, this is back a long time ago. I don't know what it's like today, but I can tell you that the Mexican people, I was surprised. I was surprised at how great they actually were because all we hear is, especially about Mexico City, right? All you hear is that they are thieves and just bad people, and maybe they are. But the ones that I met, man, I was just like, these people, wow. They really are hard workers. They really are dedicated. They really have good working ethics. And those who were more had a chance to educate, they speak so well. Very educated. I mean, I got nothing bad to say about Mexico except Claudia Sheinbaum and the cartels. That's it. That's all I got bad to say about it. Let's see. Simpson says, simple minds trying to sound like they know more than everyone else. It would take too long to explain, so much time to teach when you are suffering from the Dunning-Kruger effect. Is that right? You think that I've been studying this shit for like 2 hours? I've been doing this for years, my friend. I'm a Latino that likes the history of our Latinos. So shut the hell up if you don't know who you're talking to. Now, I never said that I know everything. But I know a lot about my Latino history in our countries. And I know that Mexico has a lot of corruption with the cartels. And I know Honduras did as well. Until President Juan Orlando Hernandez decided to fight against them. They set him up. They turned him in. President Biden was very nice with him and everything was perfect until it wasn't. It even caught him by surprise that they were saying all these nasty things about him. The whole story is just amazing. The whole story is just amazing. I played, it's in Spanish. I'm not, let me see. Is it in Spanish or is it in English? Let me see. It's on my Spanish profile, not on this one. Yeah, I don't think it's on this one. Yeah, it's on my Spanish profile. I shared the video from him. Let me see if I can find it on my videos if I didn't delete it yet. Let's see. Juan Orlando. I think I deleted it already. Yeah, I think I deleted it already. Let me go to a different folder real quick. Juan Orlando. Come on, buddy, where are you? No, I think I deleted it. Oh, what an idiot. I should have kept it. Well, I have it on my Spanish profile, but I'll tell you what I did find, though. I found something else. And this video has just aged so well. Let me see, where did I put you at? Oh, I know where it is in some videos. Let's see. Let me see if it's in Spanish or in English, real quick.
Dios es bueno. Gracias, Señor.
It's in Spanish.
Tuviste la injusticia y el sufrimiento,
He says God
y
is
en tu
good, and
infinita
you saw
misericordia
the
nos
injustice
ayudaste.
and the
Gracias
suffering
a ti,
that I
Señor.
live. Thanks for
Hoy
your mercy. Thanks
yo
to you,
soy
Lord.
un hombre libre.
Today I'm a free
Jamás
man.
perdí la fe.
I never
Este
lost my faith.
perdón es la
This
respuesta
pardon
a años de
is the
oraciones
answer to
sinceras.
years
Dios es grande. Su
of
gracia
honest prayers,
perdura
because
para
God is great.
siempre. Y mi historia
His grace
es
will
otro
always endure
testimonio
forever.
de que sus promesas nunca
And
fallan.
this is a fact
Mi
that his
profunda
promises are
gratitud
always fulfilled.
al presidente Donald Trump por tener el
I have a
coraje
profound
de
gratitude
defender
to
la
President
justicia
Donald Trump
y cumplir su promesa
for
que
defending
nunca
justice
más
and
se
fulfilling his promise
utilizaría el inmenso poder del Estado
that it
para
will never
perseguir a los
be allowed to
opositores
use the power
políticos.
of the state
Usted
to persecute
cambió mi
those
vida,
who
señor
challenge them.
presidente.
You
Y
knew
eso
my
yo
life, President Trump,
nunca lo voy a olvidar.
and I will never,
A mi esposa
ever
Ana,
forget it.
a mis hijos, a
My
mi
wife
madre,
Anna and my
a
children,
mi
my
familia
mother, my family,
y a mis amigos
and to my
que
friends
permanecieron
that
a mi
were
lado en los
always next to me
momentos
in
más
very
oscuros,
dark
a los
moments,
que siempre creyeron
the ones that
en mi
always
inocencia y
believed in my
nunca
innocence
dejaron de
and
orar.
never stop praying.
Gracias.
Thank
Ustedes
you.
llevaron también
You
una
guys
carga
also carry
emocional y
a
financiera
great
inmensa,
emotional
enfrentando
weight,
una campaña permanente de odio,
confronting
desprestigio,
a hateful
de
campaign
persecución.
with
Su
honor.
amor, su fe y su
Your love and
apoyo me
faith,
mantuvieron
your support,
durante una verdadera pesadilla. Gracias,
Help me during a
porque
great
no me
nightmare.
abandonaron
Thank you
nunca,
because you never
porque Dios nos ha
abandoned
dado la
me. Because God
oportunidad
has given us the
de
opportunity
reencontrarlos
to
pronto,
reunite.
y así será.
Again,
Agradezco
and it will
también
be so.
a los amigos
I thank
de
you to all
Estados
the friends
Unidos,
in the United States of America.
algunos aún sin conocerme,
Some, even without even
hablaron a
knowing
mi
me,
favor
have spoken on my
porque
favor.
conocieron mi caso
They
y se
knew
dieron
my
cuenta
case.
que
They
de una u
knew
otra forma
that
vivieron
one way or
una
another,
misma persecución política.
it was the
Eso
same political persecution.
debe terminar.
And that has
Agradezco
to
a los
end.
hondureños,
I
dentro y
thank all
fuera
the
del
Hondurans,
país, a los
in and out of
expresidentes
the
de la
country,
región
and to those
que alzaron
presidents
su
of the
voz
region that
para
also
que mi
raised their
caso se
voice
escuchara.
so
Cada
that my case
oración,
can be heard.
cada
For
mensaje,
every
cada
prayer, for every
expresión
message, for
de los
every
hondureños
expression
humildes
that
diciendo
the humble
mi
Hondurans
presidente es
gave
inocente, mi
and said my
presidente
president
volverá,
is innocent and he
encomendamos a
will
Dios a
come
Juan
back.
Orlando. En fin, tantos
We
mensajes,
put
cada
Juan
palabra
Orlando
de
in
ánimo
God's hands.
me llegaba
With
en
every
medio de la
word that you say
oscuridad de
will
la
come into
cárcel,
my
pero
heart.
me dio
And in the
fuerzas
darkest
para
moment,
nunca
when I
rendirme.
was in jail,
Hoy
always
estoy de
gave me
pie,
hope so that I will never
tomado de
give
la mano
hope.
de Dios,
Now
con la
I'm
esperanza y
standing
la
here
convicción que
holding
vamos a
on to
salir
God's
adelante.
hands
Y hoy debo decirlo,
with a great
con
conviction,
mucha
and today I
claridad,
have to
fui
say with
víctima
clarity,
de una
I was a victim
conspiración
of conspiracy
de la izquierda radical,
from the
no
leftists,
solo de
radical
Honduras,
leftists,
sino de otros países, pero también
not
de
just from Honduras,
funcionarios
but
del
from other
gobierno
countries,
de la administración Biden y
but
de
then also
participantes del
betrayed
Estado
by the
profundo. Estos
Biden
mismos de la izquierda
administration.
radical, de manera
Those same
pública
radical
y
leftists,
engrandeciéndose,
in one way,
reconocieron
they
que
have
entregarme era parte de un
have
acuerdo
made
para
themselves
sacarme del
greater.
país y destruirme políticamente.
And they
Quisieron
tried to
asesinarme
destroy me
moralmente,
politically and got me
borrar
out of
mi
my
nombre
country.
y desterrar mi legado. El juicio
They
que
wanted to get
enfrenté
rid of
fue
my
fundamentalmente
influence and
manipulado,
my legacy.
construido sin evidencias
They
sobre
manipulated
las
the
acusaciones de los
system
mismos
and without any
traficantes cuyos carteles
evidence.
y redes nosotros
And they only
destruimos,
had the
y quienes
cartels
también,
and
cuando
those
fueron
criminals to
preguntados
speak against me.
en juicio si tenían
When they were asked
evidencias
in
para darle
court
soporte a
if
las
they had
alegaciones en mi
evidence
contra,
to support all the
fueron claros y
allegations
dijeron,
in
no
against me,
tenemos nada,
it
solo
was very
tenemos
clear, and they
nuestra
said we
palabra.
have
A eso me
nothing.
enfrenté.
All we have
Se
is our word.
ocultó evidencias
And that's what I'm
culpatorias,
talking
se
about.
bloquearon
They
testigos
hid
y se
information and
enterraron
evidence.
informes oficiales
And
que
they
destacaban
fake
mi
official
inocencia,
documents.
con plena conciencia de los graves
And they knew
riesgos
exactly how
personales y
grave
políticos.
the
Tomé la
risk
decisión que había
was,
que enfrentar
but we still
al
took the
crimen organizado. Y
decision
decidí
to confront
personalmente
them, and I
liderar
decided
y asegurar la
personally
aprobación de políticas públicas
to
y leyes
lead.
sin precedentes, incluida la reforma a la extradición, para enfrentar al...
You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to translate the whole thing, but again, for this person in here that thinks that I don't do my homework, that's part of it. That's just part of it. That's just part of it. I had endless hours, and this is the reason why I had to delete them, because nobody listened. I had endless hours of interviews of other countries, Venezuela and Chile, Ecuador, that they also complain. Brazil also complained about cheating on the elections. All these people were connected, included here in our country. And yet, they put this woman in jail. They shut down everything. Legacy Media shut everybody that had information. You can't find it anymore. And as I said before, they had no evidence against President Juan Orlando from Honduras. And they told the judge, the activist Democratic judge, they said, we have nothing of evidence. Nothing except for our word, says the criminals. Unbelievable. Oh, shoot, I didn't see that, bro. Thanks for the super chat, brother. Supporting Dennis because is a no-brainer. Thank you, man. God bless you, bro. And Berniel, you're exactly right. Supporting Dennis is a no-brainer. Oh, thank you, Saltwater. Salt, you are a superstar member. You already do a lot for me, brother. You and your wife. God bless you both. Thank you for opening your doors to your house and to your family. One day, if God allows, we will go fishing together, my friend. Thank you for that. But as you can see, everything that I'm talking about, see, people think that I just hear what happens here in the United States of America. No, man, I'm all over the place. I have this thing called ADHD that people think is a curse. It's not a curse if you know how to channel it. It allows me to hear different things at the same time, and when something clicks, I'm on it. I'm on it. You know how that Shifty Shift was saying, oh, we got unbelievable evidence that the Russia collusion, this and that, and we got the document. Oh, we got proof. This guy is getting impeached and he's going to jail. You know what they did in Honduras? The same thing. The exact same thing. It is unbelievable. The exact same thing. Except in Honduras, they actually got the president of Honduras and they put his ass in jail. But he was innocent. And that, my friend, makes a difference on how one thinks about what they see today in life. So when I tell you what I tell you about Democrats, it's not because I don't like Democrats. I don't care about parties, but I care about this country. I care about the truth, and I care about justice and righteousness. Can I be wrong? Sure. But you know what? Zoo Boy, how the hell did you come back? But did I not put you in timeout for like 24 hours? Get out of my chat, man. This guy. I gave him a chance to call, and he didn't do nothing. I gave somebody else a chance, and all they did was cuss me out for no reason. You too, Medina. Get out of here, Funky Cole Medina. Oh, man. I think I drank too much coffee. I'm going off. I'm going to tell you something. I get so excited when the truth comes out. And I'm more excited because of my patrons, your support and your love for me. It means a lot. You guys light me up. You guys know that, right? Yeah. The last gentleman, he hung up. I wasn't done talking, but it's okay. He hung up, and he has some valid points. He doesn't like the left or the right. I get it. Let me go ahead and finish this off because I really want to know about her. Hey, Berniel, if you're still here, do you know the name of the judge that put Tina Peters in jail in Colorado? I'll research it too as well.
Team who had not been charged with federal crimes, including Rudy Giuliani and attorney Sidney Powell. And on his first day in office, he pardoned more than 1,500 January 6 defendants. Griswold says that Trump's pardon for Peters has clear limits.
She was convicted under our state laws in a state court, and the president does not have authority to issue pardons for state convictions. That's very clear in the Constitution.
I need this. But Peters' attorney believes the Constitution is being misinterpreted, a revelation that struck him as he watched the 2012 film Lincoln.
I am the President of the United States of America, clothed in immense power.
We're looking at it now, post.
You know, what I find interesting is that the judge, when he was sentencing her, he called her a charlatan. You know what that means? Do you know what it means when a judge actually uses hateful words about somebody that swears that's telling the truth? We're not talking about a criminal. We're not talking about a person that has been convicted of crimes multiple times and felonies and all this and this and that. The judge picked a side and decided to judge her not by the blind law, not by the blind justice, but with his emotions. There was anger behind that voice. I don't respect that judge. A judge shouldn't be like that. They should be stern, but they should just put a sentence instead of making a mockery of those people. Matthew Barrett, son of a bitch. Matthew Barrett, fucker. Yeah, son of a bitch. Trinity Anglican Seminary. Dr. Barrett is a systematic theologian. Son of a gun. You antichrist motherfucker. If that's the right guy, is that the right guy? I hope it's not. This one says doctor. I apologize, doctor. I'm looking for the judge. Judge. Man, there's a lot of Matt Barretts, man. How about if I put judge? I'm cussing out the wrong guy. Let's see. What the Rush Bay? Why you get me in trouble? Judge Matthew Barrett. 2 T's? Yeah, I put 2 T's. Is a graduate of the University of Denver, Sturm College Law, IDE. Okay. Let's see. Who appointed Judge Matthew Barrett? Governor Jared Polis today announced the appointment. Okay, well, let's dig deeper because I don't like to just talk shit for no reason. Huh. Democratic Party, of course. All right, let's see who's calling. I'll give you a chance. All right, who's calling?
So this is Billy Thornton.
Who?
Billy Thornton.
Elite? All right, what's going on, brother?
Nothing much. I'm assuming you're a Trump supporter.
Yeah, this here. Let me show you the background here. This is MAGA Nation you're calling in.
Yes, and I would like to know why you still support Trump, and if you can please give me the policies that he implemented so far that has benefited you.
I like everything he's doing. I agree with border security, tariffs, agreements, peace talks, securing our international deals, securing our allies, making better deals with Ukraine, putting America first. That's a great policy. I believe that he does everything that he's doing. I agree with. What was the other question?
No, I'm just gonna challenge myself and play devil's advocate.
Oh, okay. Sure.
And portray myself as a left-wing socialist.
Okay.
Just to strengthen my debating skills, if you don't mind.
Sure.
We can go break down issue by issue.
Okay.
Which one do you want to start first?
Well, you get one. I'm not going to debate you for an hour. You get 5 minutes. Pick one.
Yeah, no worries. Let's talk about peace deals. Can you give me specifics on what he managed to accomplish?
Abraham Accords.
Oh, okay. And can you please enlighten me on the Abraham Accords? I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, well, in the Arab Emirates, right? You know about all the Arabs, Israel, etc. These guys cannot agree on having the Abraham Accords. As a matter of fact, before I put my foot in my mouth, let me go ahead and look it up. What the actual meaning of that is. Abraham. All right, in 2025. Okay, let's see. All right, so the Abraham Accords are a series of U.S. broker agreements starting from 2020 that normalize diplomatic relations between Israel and several Arab nations. Okay, I was going the right place. Notably, the UAE, the Bahrain, Sudan, and Morocco, breaking decades of Arab-Israeli estrangement by establishing formal ties, trade, cooperation, shifting regional, etc. So pretty much it's like us over here, Canada, United States, and Mexico. That's how I see it. Obviously, over there is a religious thing, okay? But that's what President Donald Trump went in. So he went and brokered. He didn't go, make them. He just said, okay, you want this? You want that? Well, this is what I think you guys should do. What do you think? And that's it. And then they trusted Trump only because he showed power and strength, not weakness and cowardice. And I think that's very important to know, okay? So he has that deal-making mentality of, you know what, I am going to defend and I'm going to support those who actually want to make peace on this world. And that's why I support him on that. I think that the Abraham Accords is more than that because it's a very religious thing. But I think it's more than that, and I think that he did a very good job with doing that deal with them. They didn't want to sign. Now, because of President Trump, they actually signed in 2025.
Okay, so he was a mediator.
Mediator, exactly. He's a broker. Okay. Yeah, he's the broker. That's what I call him. Don't quote me. That's what I call him. Yeah, so he brokered wars in the Congo, right? He didn't go and attack anybody. He just brokered that war. He brokered that war between Cambodia and Thailand, right? He didn't attack with missiles and stuff. But he did tell them, I will F you up if you step out of line. I made that up, but that's kind of how I see him saying something. And they agreed. They broke that deal, and they had to go back over there and spank the kids again so they behave. So, yeah, I'm 100% for Trump. And I'm going to say this. There are some things, like right now with Venezuela, okay? I trust him 100%, but at the same time, it's like, I hope that he doesn't make a mistake. Because you have to understand, even if he means well, he's still human. He can still be betrayed. Let's not forget the first term that he served, right? He got betrayed by so many people in his administration. That's why this time he had to pick them very carefully. Because if we vote for President Trump, right, any president, okay, in the future or in the past, when we vote for a president, we expect that president to be able to deliver the agenda that he promised us that he will deliver on. So far, President Trump has made a huge adjustment as president. And I'm not going to lie to you, very, very borderline. Like he's pushing he's not breaking the law, but he is bending this out of it. You know what I'm saying? And it makes me a little bit nervous, but, considering what we have experienced in the last 4 years, specifically with the open borders, and now we're starting to find that fraud on elections. To be honest, I really don't care because Trump is president today. But I do care for future elections so that it doesn't happen again to somebody else, right? But he secured the border, and they told him that it's not possible. He did that in one day. And I mean, when you see things like that, right? When you see things like the one thing that he's been, even he says it over and over, is like, shoot, the one war that I thought was going to be the easiest, well, doggone it, it's been the hardest. Because he can have the best intentions, and he's right about, this deal that he put in. For example, I'll give you an example of this deal. not in a specific, but have you heard of the 21-point planned deal between Ukraine and Russia?
Yes, I've heard of it, but
Okay.
I don't know.
You don't have to explain it. Don't worry about it. Just as long as you know where I'm at. Okay. So this is something that Trump said, okay. Zelensky says, okay. Well, I don't think, Putin is going to sign it, but Zelensky agreed. And then Trump went and talked with Putin. You remember the whole the bombers flying across with the jets and all that, blah, 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 And what happens, he's like, Putin over there changed his mind. And he's like, oh, no, I don't think I like that. Well, then he agreed to the 21 steps. And I think that's what for Russia. I might be confusing this shit with Hamas. It might be Hamas and Israel. Shit, but whatever the deal was, the agreement that President Trump put in place for Zelensky and Putin, right, to sign. The UN or the UAE, I confuse this. I hate these organizations, but it's somewhere over there in Europe. These guys, I think it's the UN. I think it was the UN. They destroyed a lot of things, right, that President Trump had put in this deal. And then we have Putin come in and starts warning UN. In other words, what I understood from Putin is President Trump had put something good in place. You guys want to play games? He basically, from what I understood, that he told the UN is, I am going to F you up if you don't agree with what Trump is doing. And I'm thinking, okay, well, everybody on the Democratic side says that President Trump is Putin's puppet. Why would Putin come and talk about Trump like that? And so it just makes you think, because remember what Mark said. Let me see if I got a little clip from him. I made a little short for him, I think. Let me see. Let me play this real quick. You know what? I'm going to look it up on my videos on my channel. This is very important. I'll try to make it quick.
Yeah, no worries.
Let's see. Let me get to my shorts. Where are you, Mark? This clip right here.
Again, as I said a number of times, there is only one person in the whole world who was able to break the deadlock when it comes to the war in Ukraine, and that is the American President Donald J. Trump, and he did. He started in February to get engaged, and he is engaged up to and including today. Again.
Right? So he agrees with that. The UN don't like this guy anymore, by the way, because he stands for Trump. So now they're saying that he stands for Trump. So they kind of want to fight him back and forth, right, with this. So there is things that Trump has done that people don't want to accept that he has done. And it's just like, what I'm saying is this. I don't know all the details about everything unless I'm really going to go and try to debate somebody on something, right? Mm-hmm. But I know enough to know he doesn't have to tell me everything. I don't have to know everything about what he's doing because we voted for him for a reason. There's another video. Let me see. This one is actually going to be an actual video, but it's a very short video. I put this months ago. Here we go. See, I told you it wasn't going to be that hard.
What happened with the Prime Minister today with Canada and how that conversation went with the President. You understand why this communique is coming out this evening that he's leaving early because he did not like how that went down.
Okay, so he says President Trump is leaving early. This is before Iran got hit. President Donald Trump is leaving early because he did not like, the way he was getting over there. I think it was G7 summit. I think
was put in his place, and he was one among many equals.
He said he was put in his place because he was amongst his equals. He says, right? It's very quick. It's almost done. It's a
and he doesn't like that. He right now thinks he's driving every conversation around the globe. And what he's realized in that moment is that these other partners that you just rightly laid up also have a say in this moment, whether it's
so MSNBC. You already know they're a leftist legacy media, right? Now, I have respect really for anybody that even when they contradict me, they just got to know how to talk to me. But Here's it. It says Trump to leave the G7 summit early, right? And he's calling him a coward because he says that he's leaving early because he noticed that all the leaders in this G7 have the same power as he does. So he felt like he cowered and left. And so I put a comment on my video and I said this. I think my comment's still here. It's pinned. I said, let's see, 6 months ago. I said today. Okay, I said this on the description. That's where it was. Yeah, I said. By the way, I got 83 views, 15,000 subscribers. You guys don't go through my videos. Come on. All right. So it says I said on June 17th. I said I'm going to leave this video here to show it again when they find out why the POTUS left early. Everyone showed him respect, not because he's a nice guy, but because they only respect power. I come back here and I said today, on the actual comment of the video, I said today I update you Democrats. Trump went to get ready to strike Iran. This is why you guys are ruining our country, because you can't think with common sense and can't stop your TDS. And I have that set up in sequence because when he said this, and I'm like, I want to listen to all news outlets, right? Because I want to hear MSN. Here's proof. People say I only watch Fox. That's for a reason. I have CNN, BBC and ABC, and the way that they promote the news. This is before I even supported Trump. It's just the way they put it is like they lie to get, like how they say that we say things just to get clicks. That's what they do. They lie and exaggerate the news so that they can get more ratings and they can have more people watching. And you have to understand, the more drama they put, the more people go in there, the better your thumbnails, the better your videos do. My thumbnails suck, but that's the thing. Like I have proof where I have told somebody, okay, well, here you go. They say he's a coward. They say President Trump is a coward and he left early because he was overwhelmed, because everybody had the same power as him. And I said, I got to put this video on. I made the clip very quick. I put it on there and I left the description, and I came back a few days later after we found out about Iran. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, and this is what I'm talking about. I get a little bit scared with President Trump because this is what I said. They put it on the news, CNN. Oh, President Donald Trump is flying the B-2 bombers to Guam. And I was like, bro, President Trump, why? Why do you let them know that you're getting ready? They're going to move their shit, right? And that midnight, boom, 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 buy nuclear plant. And I said, damn, Trump was right about everything. I'm telling you, I've gone against Trump like 3 times against Trump. And he has beaten me every single time. He even beat me when I supported the politician in Honduras that lost. I supported him. President Trump supported the opposite, and that guy won. So even in my own country of birth, he beats me. So by now, brother, all I can do is say this. I pray to God that he is not going to mess up. And I can tell you, by the way things are going, Democrats are only telling us to hate Trump because they are being caught. Tampon Tim in Minnesota, all these people, Ilhan Omar, she talks so bad about Trump. She played the racist card, and yet she calls white people white devil. She told the Somalis that white people are the threat to Somalis. Who does that? How can you say you love your country when you do that? So it's not just Trump. I look at the other side. Okay, what's the other side doing? You have to understand this. I'm a competitive guy. I'm not gonna be on your side because we're good friends. If you suck at a sport, I'm not gonna bet on you. I'm gonna bet on the other guy that I know is gonna kick your ass. That's how it works. I'm very competitive, and so if Democrats think that Republicans are doing such a shitty job, I just want them to beat us. I want them to beat us. Do better. But you know what? They're hating capitalists, and you have to understand this. Hugo Chavez and Fidel Castro, that's a different guy, but Hugo Chavez, most recently, right? And this over 2,000 years. Okay, over the 2000s. Hugo Chavez literally said, capitalism is shit. Capitalism is evil, he says. He was a full-blown socialist Democrat, okay? And when the money ran out in Venezuela, for a little bit, because they picked up again. When the money was running out, he turned communist. He started taking private businesses for himself. He told the farmers, if you don't sell your vegetables at this price, you're done. And when they agreed to his price, they went out of business. Grocery stores empty. It was something to see here in the United States of America because he, like President Xi, right, from China, they block all media. They didn't want those videos coming out. People were getting arrested. They're still in jail, by the way. But some videos snuck out, and they show that the supermarkets with empty everything, like it was the Y2K. You remember the Y2K? The whole BS that they had us all fear-mongered over? Man, they lied to us so bad, and we all ate it. Man, we had like 5 big things of water and grabbing all the ramen from Costco. It was stupid, but they pulled our legs and we fell for it. So I learned to just, you know what, I voted for Trump because I felt this is the guy that I want in office. And win or lose, I got to support him. I'm not going to be a flake. I can't let him down. And the whole Epstein files, when they come out, they're going to find out that President Trump is innocent. But you know what? That's not going to be enough for people that hate him. It doesn't matter what he does. And you're a witness of this. It doesn't matter what he does. They hate this guy. He insulted them. You know how he insulted them? With their pockets. They can't buy him. And they hate that. They didn't want to allow Doge to go in and audit USAID because they knew that they were going to find that fraud abuse. You know what I'm saying? All that waste that they've been doing on NGOs. Man, I've been preaching about NGOs for as long as I started talking about politics. A very long time. NGOs is the easiest way to launder money when your politicians are corrupted. And there is well, here, I'll leave you with this one right here. Ilhan Omar. You probably heard this already. Ilhan Omar was worth what? About $45,000, I think it was, or maybe negative. I'm exaggerating, negative. But let's say she was worth $45,000. Within a year or so of being in her career as a politician, even if she saved all of her salary, right, every month, she wouldn't even make it to $1 million. And yet, she's worth $30 million right now. Politicians. Nancy Pelosi. She has hundreds, I can't remember if it was 200 or 300%. Let me look it up so I don't lie. Nancy Pelosi's stock, what do you call that? Nancy Pelosi stock, what is it called? Successful trade?
I believe she was accused of
success rate. Yeah, success rate. Let me see if it says that anywhere. I'm gonna see if I can. I don't know what Joe Rogan says about this. Hold on, let me play Joe Rogan just to see.
Nancy Pelosi, do you know that she's better at stock trading than Warren Buffett or George Soros by a good margin? It's almost like it's insider trading, Tim Kennedy.
Almost. I would never ever make that accusation, though.
So Nancy Pelosi became rich.
Why do you have to read that? We're here to talk about this.
Start with the Abraham Accords. Now, I'm just going to ask you a question. Do you think that what's currently going on with the Israeli government tensions with Hamas and massive amount of casualties compared to October 7th is actually a souring relationship with countries that want to join the Abraham Accords, but they see such huge atrocity, for example, Saudi Arabia, that they stay on the sideline until that has been ameliorated and Israel stop encroachment in the West Bank and Gaza?
Well, President Trump already told Netanyahu not to touch the West Bank. So I know he's not going to do that. But I think that what we can take out of this is you have to understand that Muslims, they're not supposed to fight each other. Okay, so somebody else has to do it. So that's why when Israel hit that terrorist from Hamas, right, in Qatar, remember that one? They couldn't say anything. They couldn't say anything to him because they knew that if they said anything, they were going to testify that they knew that they were there and they were harboring terrorists, which they're Muslims. You know, nobody really understands how deep that religion moves people. So that's all I can say. It's, you know, that I see that that Israel, as much as people hate them, they truly are the balance in the Middle East. You know, I know they're not supposed to fight each other, but you know, the extremists, they don't give a shit. All they have to do is tell the other Muslims, all they have to do is call them infidel Muslims, and then they can do whatever they want with them. But, you know, Qatar doesn't want to get into that. You know, they supported Hamas before. They supported other terrorist groups. Who knows? Maybe they still are, but technically, for as far as we know, they stopped that. You know what I mean? And so I really can't say much about it because I think just the fact that they're more of a religious war. I don't want to get too deep into Israel and the Arabs. You know what? Let them figure it out. I want to concentrate more about what happens here in our continents. You know, on our side of the ocean. And I'm going to tell you, man, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which way things go. I'm afraid that you know, with Democrats hating us so much. I don't know, to be honest, I don't even know. I don't have any uncertainty about our country here in the Northern Americas. I really don't know what's going to happen to us. And I don't think that our destruction is going to come from an international country. I really don't have much to say about the Abraham Accords because all I know is the very basics of what they do. I think that the most dangerous thing is here, locally, in-house. And let's not forget the Trojan horse that was sent to us over here by the Muslims from East Africa and other countries. You know, their goal is to not convert people to save their souls because they don't believe in that, but to control us, to put the Sharia law on us. You have to understand that these Muslims, they believe that the law of the Quran, Sharia law, the law of the Quran, it's above any other law. And the reason for that belief is because their government, Islam is government made up Muslims, the Islam religion. And that's the only conclusion that I can get from it. You know, I'm not going to hate people that practice the Muslim religion, that they're not into that, but it's still a fake religion to me. Fake faith. I know I'm not really answering that question the way you want me to, but I just don't know much concrete, you know, to go deep diving into the Abraham Accords. So just the basics.
Yeah, I don't know either. I just figure it is causing other countries to stay on the sideline because, and the reason for it is that they see what the IDF is doing in Gaza, and they're pretty repulsed by it. So they refuse to join the Abraham Accords, and I just brought up one example, Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So, since you don't know too much, and neither do I, we can just go ahead and move to another issue that you're most comfortable with. Let's just go with Venezuela and then domestic issues in the U.S.
Sure.
Now, for the situation in Venezuela, you mentioned Hugo Chavez tenure and that he was pretty aggressive with changing the system of government into communism.
Yeah.
Can you please explain to me what does that have to do with the U.S. and why is that an imminent threat to them and their and jeopardizing their national security?
Yeah, well, I mean, you had to start first. I think it was the 50s or the 60s. Here in the States, one of the things that I first learned when I started learning about the history in the States is, you know, communist. there was a whole big thing about commies. Nobody in this country wanted communists in our country. This is including from Russia. This is what I understand, what I remember correctly. So I've always had that communism is bad from the get-go. They had some really twisted beliefs, and the way that communism are, just like I mentioned earlier on this video, it's that they remove private ownership of businesses. And so they are socialists, and they believe in communal, you know what that is, right? Communal behavior, like Mondani, right? He says we're getting rid of all this individualism, and now we're going to be all, into collective mentality, meaning a community being together. Communism, that's what he's saying.
Society.
Yeah, it's just a community. That means that everybody works, and then wealth is spread across for everybody according to their need, the size of their family, etc. But the problem is that part of socialism, when the money runs out, it puts such pressure on the people in power that they end up becoming communists. And they start privatizing everything for themselves, not for us, the American people. Like, you will not be able to own a business unless they tell you how to run it and how to do it, right? So you're always going to be enslaved to the government, to the country, like Cuba, right? So the whole idea with the reason why I'm against with the Democrats here is because I have noticed that there is a pattern of them defending communists. They are in a pattern of defending criminals. They are putting third world country migrants over, actual Americans that have assimilated from all different cultures and have made this country great. Why do they do that? Because it's easy to manipulate those people. The reason why Nicolas Maduro has so much power, Hugo Chavez, right, has so much power in Venezuela while he was reigning in Venezuela, was because he had a lot of money. And when money was tight, he screwed over the people. But when the money came back good, because the oil went up very nicely for Venezuela, then he started helping people. And the people that receive money from him, those were the people that followed him. These are the people that cheer Maduro. These are the people, like right now, I'll give you an example. The Americans that are protesting right now, they're paid protesters. They literally are paid protesters saying that they are the Communist Organization of America. And they want Maduro for free. They want, not for free, they want Maduro free, and they stand with Venezuela. But in reality, more than 90% of the Venezuelans are in poverty now. And more than 70% of the population of Venezuela is against Maduro because they are 90% in poverty, And so the people that as many people tell me on my chat that I'm kissing President Trump's ass, the people that kiss ass to the dictator, Nicolas Maduro, or whoever is in power in Venezuela, those are the people that receive some money. That's the only reason why they worship him, because as long as he gives them money, it's okay. But the difference between us and them is that we believe that in the one part of the democracy that we believe in to putting somebody into power is we are putting them there because we trust them that they're going to do what we ask them to, what they run a campaign on, what the agenda is. President Trump has not changed a beat. If anything, he's doing everything 10 times faster than what he's supposed to. And even then is not even enough, right? So this whole communism that happened in Cuba happened in Venezuela. And, thank God Trump is here and we were able to put at least a little slowdown, not a stop, not yet, a little slowdown, a pause. And you see Venezuelans being thankful, right? Who right now is pissed off about Nicolas Maduro, a guy that had a bounty on his head for $50 million? Who is upset about his capture right now? And that'll tell you the answer.
Well, I would say Maduro loyalists in Venezuela.
It's not here, locally.
Well, some Congress members who believe that what Trump did was unconstitutional because he didn't seek approval in the legislative branch. I would also say some United States constituents who believe that we shouldn't be interventionists in sovereign countries and leave them to their own devices. And the only way for U.S. to intervene in a country through military strikes is if that country was an imminent threat to the United States.
Yeah. That's a good answer. I like that. But the short answer.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to
Go ahead.
One more point because you did give an example of Zoran Mamdani, the new New York mayor.
Yeah.
And you label him a communist.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure why you would do so, since he hasn't advocated for the eradicating capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
I know
he needs it. Yeah, he needs capitalism right now.
Yeah, I know he mentioned government-run grocery stores.
But yes, that's communism.
But he didn't say he wants to eradicate private-owned grocery stores.
He's already trying to eradicate an apartment owner. He's going to take his business away.
So, and since communism means a classless society.
Yeah. Yep.
I haven't heard him say anything about everyone being equal. He did mention that he doesn't believe in billionaires.
Yeah.
But he hasn't said anything about everyone on an equal level playing field when it comes to a financial bracket. So I'm not exactly sure how you can label Zoran Mamdani a communist.
Yeah. Because they always start with socialist. They always start as socialists, and they have to turn into communists. That's why I told you about Maduro, right? Hugo Chavez, he was a socialist, and then he turned into a communist, because that's where they go. Every socialist turns into a communist. There is no other way. Now, there's Professor Wolf. He's a socialist professor, okay? He teaches that. He gave on this last speech that I heard from him was that the new socialist Democrats, they're not just socialist. They're actually socialist, Marxist, communist. So when you hear a Democrat say, I'm a socialist Democrat, that's all you need to know. All three of those ideals or ideologies are now the new socialist party. That's just the way that the professor put it down, okay? And I will take his word for it. I disagree that is the best idea, but that is the way that he puts it, and that's the way that the Democrats are running their party today. And I think that's very dangerous. Now, with Mamdani, I'm just going to say this. Remember, you heard that here first in the Dennis Herrera show. So you'll come back later in a year or two and be like, man, you're crazy. Remember you said that? You were right. But but we have to wait. We have to wait. I speak from history. And sometimes maybe history will not repeat itself. Maybe this socialist guy, maybe he be different. Maybe he makes it happen. Maybe he works. I can tell you this much. The reason why he won is because the stupid Democrats and Republicans that we have effed up everything. So the youth wants free. And that's it. There's nothing else. There's no other reason why they voted for him besides he's a handsome son of a gun for all the ladies. But besides that, I haven't heard anything positive about our youth is not that smart. They think he's cute and they want free stuff. That's it. That's the only two reasons why he won. And you know what I'm saying? So Cuomo, yeah, he got old and he's not giving free stuff, even though they're not going to get free stuff because nothing's free. He ran the campaign on it, and he won. And I think Trump saw that. And the only reason, but don't tell nobody else, this is just between me and you, the only reason why Trump played friends with Mamdani in front of the cameras is because he knows that Mamdani is going to fail, and he's going to look like the hero. But you didn't hear that from me, okay? So don't share that with nobody else. All right, go ahead. What is your last comment? Because I got to maybe finish up in here. It's getting late.
No, I hear you. Can you please tell me the difference between socialism and communism?
Yeah, socialism.
I mean, from my perspective, I think it's completely different. And I know there's a spectrum.
But there's a definition.
Socialism.
Yeah.
And can you please pinpoint where, like, Zoran Mamdani is on the spectrum of socialism?
Yeah.
It's a two-part question. So give me the difference between socialism versus communism, and if you can please pinpoint where Zoran Mamdani is on the socialism spectrum, and I'll end there.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find him. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to get this for you here.
Starting on day one, we will expand the city's special enforcement programs, doubling fines for
Hold on. I don't know what.
hazardous violations.
Okay. So, I'm going to, I hope this is the right clip. Okay, so if you want a definition, you can always look up definition, right? Socialism, communism. I can tell you that both of them are very similar to me. Now, this is just the way I interpret it. Okay, so socialism, you believe in a system where you have a collective mind thinking, right? Everybody works. You tax the rich. You grab all those taxes, grab all the resources, and then you spread them out with the community, okay, with the people. And that's just the easiest way that I can see socialism. Now, that can work in like small villages when people don't really need like a big building or businesses. For example, all they need is they need to weave some mats, right? They need to go fishing for food, farm. Well, everybody can pitch in and everybody can, distribute according to the need, right? But you are still able to have your own business. So you can have private ownership of a business and you can make as much money as you want, but you're not going to get it. You have to share that with everybody else, okay? The only difference that I see in communism is the communists, they take away that right of private ownership. And that's the problem, I think. That's the biggest problem, I think. The first big problem is you cannot be rich. You will never be able to acquire wealth to be rich because it's a socialist country, it's a socialist, community or state, city, whatever. And the problem is that those who are in power, if they do get corrupted, because if you have a good leader for socialism, it could work, I think. Not in big cities, but I think it can work in small cities. But when do you have an actual honest politician 100%? Maybe Mandani is different. But if he steps out of line, the funds are going thin, they're going to be forced to become communists. That's just the way it works. If you start overtaxing the rich, they will leave. And when they leave, you're screwed, right? So I'm going to go ahead and play this clip. I think this is the right one. Let me see if this is the right one. Let's see. It's got music, so it's probably going to make me cancel this later. This is from PDP, by the way.
Starting on day one, we will expand the city's special enforcement programs, doubling fines for hazardous violations and tripling them for conditions that are immediately dangerous. And when a really bad landlord, like this guy, refuses to fix the city's going to step in, make the repairs, and send them the bill.
Okay, watch next.
If that doesn't work, the city's taking over the building.
There you go. Did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
So he's going to double the fines and triple the fines. What I hear is you have to think. See, I used to be a leasing agent, so I know the whole apartment and business and all this stuff, right, with real estate. So the problem is this. Okay, so sometimes the business owner, the ones that own an apartment community, for example, they don't have the funds to do certain repairs. And now, the repairs is not just, there's a leak because of old piping, etc. No, people are constantly destroying apartments when they live in there. If you don't know this, well, now you know. Every single time, not every single time, once in a blue moon, somebody would leave the apartment in the same condition that they found it when they moved in, or at least very close. But most people leave the apartments trashed, and it takes a lot of money. So when the city has a lot of high taxes for doing business, property tax, they have excise tax, they have city tax, they got all these other taxes and regulations, it makes it very impossible for the landlords to make a profit to maintain the property to the level that it needs to be. And the problem is that when people start, withholding the rent because, maybe the roaches are not going away, maybe the rats are not going away. Well, if the people keep bringing food up the stairs and they leave a trail of crumbs and they're dirty in the house, they are going to have roaches in their house. Not because the roaches just miraculously appeared out of the air, but because residents are always bringing animals. either when they move from one area to another, maybe this building is clean of, there's no bed bugs, and somebody moves in, boom, bed bugs. Worst thing you can have in the house. So hard to get rid of, right? You got to kill them with 100-something plus temperature, and it's crazy. But the whole thing is this. The thing that I hear from him, it's he's going to put double the fines, right? It's already expensive as it is to maintain the building. The whole idea is, I'm going to take this shit from you. That's what he's saying. So he's going to double the fines and then triple the fines. And if they don't want to fix or address the problem that they want them to fix, remember what I told you about the prices in Venezuela? They said, if you don't sell this product at this price, we're going to take your business away. And they did. And with the people that decided to obey them and put the prices at low price, they went out of business anyway. And then they kept the property anyway. That's just communists. That's how it works. And so he's saying that he's going to make it impossible, practically, is what I heard, for that business owner to be able to maintain the apartments. And when he doesn't pay somebody to fix it, they're going to find somebody to come and address the issues. And if the owner does not pay those repairs, they're taking his whole apartment complex. That's what he just said. Let me see what PBD says about this.
We're putting the worst landlords out of business.
He says, we're going to take over the building.
So it's theirs. It's the city's.
So you mean like seize the means of production,
That's
like
exactly
communists? Wait a minute. So he's saying.
You hear that?
So we've hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we've discussed.
Way too much.
No. You discussed. You agreeing with his foreign policy relating to the Abraham Accords, and I
yes,
kind of resisted with the IDF actions. Now, do you think that it can lead to a backlash where other countries are repulsed and staying on the sideline and not willing to join the Abraham Accords as well? And you've alluded to you don't have that much knowledge on the subject, which I respect.
Yeah.
That you're not going to indulge in something that you know little of, which is okay.
Yeah.
Not.
How about if I give you this? And the way I live my life, I've read my Bible many, many times. I never wanted to learn a specific scripture because I don't want to be that guy that makes excuses for something with the scripture. I want to know life. I want life to have recipe to life and happiness. And one of the things that I learned from the Bible is parables. And parables can be used to mean different things in your life. So I'm going to give you this one example, okay? Now, people laugh when people say that, Trump is your daddy. Whoa, here we go. I'm going to tell you this. I got 2 kids, right? Well, I got 7, but 2 kids with me. They're teenagers, by the way. They are not getting along, okay? Now, my wife tries to go in there and try to keep in order. Nothing happens. There's no fear. My wife, she's a great mother and everything, but she doesn't have my power. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm this, extreme, feminist guy. I'm not that. My wife is equal to me, but my kids is the example. And so I tell my kids, they don't want to listen to the mom. So the mom calls me, and then I go and talk with them. Now, they might not want to do what I say, but as long as I'm here, they know I'm going to whoop their ass. So I think that what Trump is doing is exactly that. He's flexing. He's letting them know, I don't play around. Don't F with me. Iran played around and they found out. Venezuela played around and found out. So the world now sees that President Donald Trump, I know our Democrats, they hate him. They're trying to make him look like a dictator, authoritarian, blah, blah, blah. But the fact is that these leaders from other worlds, they don't respect anyone unless they have power. That's why Trump is flexing so hard, brother. That's the only example I can give you. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, the thing with Trump flexing his power in Venezuela.
Yeah.
I'm kind of confused as to why you think so, since that pretty much the government is the same with the same people in office, and it's still an authoritarian regime. Now, of course, it's not going to be a snap of the fingers and you have pro-democracy.
Yeah.
But I don't see any possibility of that current government changing from authoritarian to pro-democracy. And there's another point that you mentioned with the Muslim faith.
Yeah.
And you believe that Islam is a fake religion, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Man-made.
Is man-made?
Yeah.
Now, isn't every religion that, according to a plethora of sources, it's over 4,000 man-made?
Not my religion. Mine is the true religion. And that is the catch, my friend. Everybody gets to make a choice.
And your religion is, I'm assuming, Christianity?
That is correct. The Bible is the word of God, inspired by God, written by man. The Quran was inspired by man, written by man. There's no proof, there's no witnesses of all the miracles that any other prophet besides Christ have done. Christ has all these witnesses. They even have Romans that have witnessed the miracles of Christ.
So I know this is a dicey topic to get into.
Yeah, it's okay. It just takes a while.
And I'm still going to indulge in it anyway. If there were religions before Christianity,
yeah,
why not follow the religions previous to Christianity?
We do. The Old Testament. That's Israel's history.
No, I'm saying there were other religions that were existed before Christianity was founded. So why not believe in that religion and sticking to Christianity if Christianity came after?
Yeah.
Do you see where I'm trying to get at?
Yeah. Have you ever been on the field with sheep?
No, I
no?
haven't.
Okay. If I go on the field with you, and we go and we see the sheep in the prairie, and we stand there with their owner, right? Their shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I, we ask the owner, hey, how do you call the sheep? Bah, right? And you and I, we think we imitate that just like that. And so we start making that noise. The sheep look at us and they just ignore us. But when the owner, their shepherd, calls them, they know him and they run to him. In the same manner, the way that I believe in God and the Bible, I know my God. And the Bible says that those who know him, who know their shepherd, will hear his voice and come to him. That's my faith. But that's just me. You don't have to believe it. It's just me.
No worries. Like, are you a live and let live guy? Say if someone, is, as long as they're, doing the right thing, being a productive member to society, they should be left.
I think it's nice.
It's nice, right? They should be left to their own devices and, have and be respected and not be ridiculed if, they're not committing any nefarious activities.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So why do you believe in an omnipotent figure who, just because some individuals don't believe in him, but they're contributing to society, they're not being a ragamuffin out in the streets?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, I have a spiritual experience myself, so I can't convince people.
I know, but he finds it so despicable that they don't believe in him that he's going to give them the worst. He's going to give them a punishment worse than life imprisonment, and that punishment is burning in hell for eternity.
That will be his decision. Yeah, it will be his decision to make. I think, so there is two ways to be saved. I know Christians are about, what? This guy. There's two ways to be saved. The first way is impossible. Nobody will be saved. meaning that you can be the nicest guy, you can do all of these things, and at some point in life, you're going to F up, and then you're going to hell. But if you listen to the shepherd calling, that means that you're chosen to be with him for eternity. So I can live with you. You can be a very nice guy. My only job is to share, not convince you, share with you this information right here. I believe on Father God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the omnipotent, the creator of the universe. He is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. He was not created by anything. He is that I am. He loved this world so much, who has separated themselves from God by sin, that he sent his only begotten Son, whom we know is Jesus Christ, so that we can repent and reconcile our relationship with him again. We will never be perfect, but he is perfect. He is our lawyer, so to speak. He is my personal Savior. And if you accept him as your Lord and Savior, you too, my friend, will be saved. And the only thing you got to do is repent from your sins, repent from your ways, and say this: Holy Spirit, come into my heart. You are welcome in this temple, and I am yours. And that's it, my friend. From there on, you just do what you need to do, what's right, what you think is good, and what you are questioning. You can always pray to God and see what he shows you. Nobody can convince you. What I gave you right there, that's a gift. You can choose it or not choose it. If you actually believe that, you can say it to yourself. You don't have to say it in public.
No, like I said, I just, when I ask thought-provoking questions, and, like I said, this is a debate, so, I'm playing devil's advocate at all times.
You sound like a good person to me. I'm not saying you are, but you sound like a good person to me. So I appreciate your respect, man. Thanks for being patient with me. I know I don't have all the answers for you, but thank you so much for calling, man. You got 54 minutes out of me.
Oh, and I greatly appreciate you giving your perspective.
Sure.
And,
that's what we're here for.
Very informative. Thank you. I greatly appreciate
You're
it.
very welcome. Thanks for calling, brother. You have a good night. Be blessed.
You as well.
Thank. It's not hard, right? It's not hard to have a conversation, even if I don't know everything. I mean, you can probably call and know more about anything than me. But I really the zinc roofer, please behave, will you? Just behave. Just be good, will you? All right. I need to get some information for you guys for tomorrow, so I need to make sure that I get ready for that. I will be back on tomorrow's Friday. Oof, happy Friday. I will tell you tomorrow. Faith, thank you so much for your gift. Berniel, thank you for your gift. For every single one of you guys who are my members, you subscribe, you like the videos and conversations. I really want to have more open conversations like that. Again, I don't know everything, but I do like to have those conversations. And maybe, who knows, maybe one day, the Democrats will change their mind and, we can do something together for this country. This is a great country, the great U.S. of A. You guys deserve it. Let's take care of it. Let's work together. I know, I tell it like it is. I'm very direct and people hate the way I talk, but you know what? I don't sugarcoat anything. I do know I love everyone, but I am not going to be your friend if all you're going to do is criticize me with hate, okay? Constructive criticism, I will take any time. Guys, if you have been with me all this time, thank you so much for your love. Thank you for the likes. Thanks for the subscribes. Guys, every single one of you, Brian, Robert, Faith, everybody in here, God bless you. Love you all. Have a good night.